Alright, well, hello and welcome to tonight's episode of Loot, Die, Repeat, where a bunch of us freedom-enjoying Americans sit around and, Memorial Day, thank you for all of those who have given their lives in service for us. Sit around. And who roll some dice. We do a lot of laughing at each other and do some collaborative storytelling known as Dungeons and Dragons. And we are continuing our story. We're in our 31st episode tonight as we look at a major problem in Amphail. And the party will figure out how to get there. But before we do, in case you've missed any of the past episodes or would like to catch up, those are probably belong to Hold. Or to Rygar. Yep. So you can go to YouTube and can watch any of our past episodes. And you can also, of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would appreciate that. Love that. You can also subscribe to us here on Twitch. We'd appreciate that as well. Or maybe just follow us. That would be great. And as we continue along, we'd love for you to participate in the chat with us, although our producer is offline tonight, so we will try to do our best to respond. If our sound is too low or off or staticky, please let us know, and we will do our best to adjust it, but we're kind of just doing this on the fly here tonight. Same thing with any other issues. Again, we're amateurs, so we're just kind of trying to figure out the tech as we go. If you would like to influence the game at all, you can always buy inspiration for any of the players. And I think a couple of them still have inspiration, but several of you guys have used the inspiration that was purchased last week. And you can also buy disadvantage for the DM, and that is 500 bits. Inspiration advantage is 100 bits for players. You can also type in all kinds of commands in the chat. Hashtag commands will show you what they are. And again, we'd love for you to participate with us in this adventure that we have going on together. I think that is about it. So without further ado, we are going to jump in to tonight's episode of Loot, Die, Repeat. Alright, here we go. And we begin with a recap of what has gone before. And so, after being skewered by a doppelganger in the barnacled banister, the party did everything they could to bring Eli back to life. Made some friends with the Blackwoods, and they, through the help of the Blackwoods, raised the necessary funds to attempt to revive Eli. But despite Lightkeeper Thranduin's best efforts, the spell seemed to fail. Or did it? Exactly 3 days after Eli's death, with a flash of light, Eli's wounds were healed. His broken sword was whisked back into his hand, and he awoke. And after some serious questioning by the rest of the party, Eli divulged that he had been a monster hunter in another life. And while fighting a coven of hags in Sembia, had fallen into an arcane pit full of a statically charged, viscous concoction meant for someone else. But having been stabbed through the heart with the very same broken blade that he wields now, he fell into the pit and awoke 3 days later. He then began to hunt the hag who killed him, found her, took her life, but was again inflicted with mortal wounds before he died on a hill underneath an apple tree inside of a tulip patch, watching the sunset. So he continued several more times through life and death throughout the past 320 years, and has searched for an answer to his condition. And it wasn't until, well, last session when he began to start to get some deeper answers. As he returned to the barnacled banister with several of the party members and met the owner there, Artemia Carolyn, who seems to be another one of these so-called life-cursed. While taking care of some other errands around town and agreeing to do some side jobs for the Blackwoods, the party went to bed, woke up the next morning, and continued to do some errands as Vincent, Eli, and Mylandra traveled to the Temple of Light to see if they could find Doran Bellabranton, who they had saved several days before. Finding him and having a conversation, the party began to speak with Lightkeeper Thranduin, just as a town crier burst through the doors and informed them all that Amphail was under attack. And it is right here at this point that we pick up tonight's adventure. Moniker, it is around 5 o'clock p.m. on the 27th of Python. And I'm going to start first with Melsine, Morthos, and Cole. What were you guys doing throughout that day before Eli, Mylandra, and Vincent went to However, and what were you doing roll a investigation check. So we're trying to work through those right now. Let me see if I can try to get in there. If you are watching on Twitch, please give us the feedback as we are trying to address it right now. Yeah.
Yep. Who's ready for all those Amphailians to die?
Maybe they already have.
It's better. Quiet.
I think they turned on everything.
You guys need to
Screen?
talking?
Okay.
All right. How is the sound now? People on the Twitch, please chat and let us know.
Do we need to keep talking so you
We'll
can judge
keep
it?
talking.
Judging.
Sound check. 1, 2. 1, 2. Another sound check.
3, 4. 3, 4.
We can hear just the helicopter.
Oh, that's cool.
Cool.
Don't know what that means.
That isn't very helpful.
There is no helicopter. in
Using
here.
emojis is also not very
Sunset
helpful.
good though. Well,
Uh,
your sunset.
Yep. So,
Jackson.
Oh, he can't hear.
yeah.
What?
Why don't we turn the sound up there for you? What's the?
Hear that?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, we're fine.
Sorry,
Can you hear
people.
what?
Just give
Sounds
us,
like a
give us
helicopter. Sounds
give
like
us 2
propeller.
minutes.
Yep.
I don't hear it.
I mean, it's not.
Terrible.
No, it just sounds like a.
Could it be the rain?
No, it's not raining yet.
That's what was on the last stream as well.
Yeah, we're good. Hey, the audience says we're fine. We're fine. Wait, who's all run for days?
I don't know.
Oh, then
Is that base? Is that still there at the?
I'm all about that bass.
the helicopter's lower. Whatever you just did.
Drop that bass.
It's magic.
I still hear.
Deja vu.
I know, right?
No trap.
What did I say?
It's an extreme reverb.
Yeah, I hear it.
Yeah. It's fine.
I don't hear it.
It's
You have terrible hearing. Then.
This is true.
It's all your days in a kitchen.
It's fine. Just
Blows
deal
out
with
your
it.
ears.
Well, we will try to deal with that some other
Just
time
talk louder.
when hopefully.
Who's our
I guess it
producer?
could just mean that,
Blame
like,
him.
Yeah.
The game is on the
So what happens
electrical
when you
noise.
don't have anyone who knows tech, and we try to do this without anyone who knows tech? So it's really, I blame Vincent, really.
It's always his
I can
fault.
pour some water on it.
Anyone who knows sound equipment and wants a free slice of pizza every Tuesday night.
Wait, I don't even get pizza every Tuesday night.
Well, you don't
Yeah,
need
you don't
it.
know
No,
sound
You don't do sound on the board.
That too. You're just a bit player, not the sound tech.
No.
Good stuff, guys.
It was bad at first. So
Yeah.
I'm glad it's better now.
Okay, how are we looking now?
We just need to be mindful of projecting outward.
You push out your diaphragm, gives you the strength.
Okay, so
That's actually how you
you
do
were
it.
at the Temple Font of Knowledge and came up with nothing. Morthos, what were you doing?
I would have gone to try to find someone who could help me increase the rapier I got.
To like make it more
Magical damage.
to enchant it.
Enchant it, yes.
Okay, so you'd have gone to the Weaver's Presidium.
We would pursue
Well, roll investigation to see if you could find anyone.
that should work. That'd be a 23.
Okay, and so you find the Weaver's Presidium, and you are greeted. Have you been to the Weaver's Presidium before?
I do not believe so.
Okay, so you come walking in, and you see a little halfling there with kind of slicked back hair, and he sees you, and he's in kind of a small robe. He looks kind of like a receptionist, but a desk, and then there's a set of stairs behind him, and he says,
Wait, is that where I would have got the gears for Gizmo?
"No,
No, that's different.
yes, that was the Temple of God." Yep. Don't you people, can't you remember all these names?
Oh my
Come
God,
on.
so
Too many names.
And they're all so closely together.
The names or the
The
location?
names, both, but mostly the names.
So he looks at you and says, "Well, hey there, I'm Yam Tucker. How can I help you, my friend?"
Hello, Liam. Yam Tucker?
Yam Tucker, that's me. Uh-huh.
Three.
That's right.
I have this sword, and I'm looking to give it a magical attribute, so it will do not just piercing damage, but maybe add a little extra.
So, like, some sort of evocation effect?
That is exactly correct.
All right. Well, let me look here. Okay. Well, for a permanent enchantment, I'm told that we can do that for you. It's what we do. It'll be several thousand gold.
Several thousand.
That's what I said. Did I stutter? I don't think so. I'm Yam Tucker.
Alrighty then. Exactly how many thousand of gold?
Doesn't sound like that matters.
Alright, I get it. I'm just going to leave.
So long. When you get a couple thousand gold, come on back and we might be able to help you out. Alright, so Morthos makes his way out. And Melcine, what are you seeking to do?
Could I have been working on a healing potion at the house by any chance?
Yep, so roll a medicine check to see if you can get a day's work in on one.
Probably not.
This is not going to be a good day for us.
Was that a 1?
It was.
Okay, so
You lose your
whatever materials you had
Okay,
are all ruined.
got it.
They're done. Okay, so
That's
you don't
cool.
you don't have any more materials to make any potions. All right. And Hold, what were you doing this day?
I probably I would have stepped outside and went to the smiths and tried to bang out some precision
All right.
metal tapping.
Come on!
Ah, you're back again.
I'm frustrated with this process, but calmed myself and I'm ready for another session of training.
Well, of course.
Give me that tiny little hammer.
As you know, this is what is required to be proficient, huh? I guarantee you keep practicing, you will get it. Perhaps today is the day. Huh?
Show me what to do again.
Just like this. You hit and he shows you again.
Crit!
Nice.
At least somebody got
Ah, you got it! Ah, I told you, nah. As I said, I guarantee you would achieve what you set out to do.
That's my favorite dice.
And you, sir, are now proficient in smithing.
Nice.
Is that the 5th try?
It's been a lot of
Third,
time.
but I think I rolled at least 10 times to do it.
So you have achieved proficiency in smithing.
Did it, Hole?
And he says to you, well, if you ever want to come work, yeah, you can always work here. We will continue to train you in working with more, how do you say, exotic materials, huh?
I'm very thankful for your perseverance in training a person like me.
It is easy when you are dedicated to the craft, no? Huh?
No, yes, not easy.
All right, very good. So Hold is proficient in blacksmithing. Very good. And now we move to. We move to Sola.
Hopefully it needs.
I had you roll on the D20 to see where you had disappeared for 2 days.
Uh-oh.
And you rolled a 19, which was a nice high number.
Not the 7th layer of hell.
Yep. So instead of going downward or lower to the lower planes, you went upward to the upper planes. And
Exciting.
as you apparate into a space, you immediately start tumbling and crashing down a hill. No, actually, it's not a hill. These are rocks. This is craggy. This is a mountain. I need you to roll a dexterity saving throw.
You're gonna come back better than
11.
And you kind of catch yourself so that you're not tumbling, and you kind of catch yourself and you're now sliding, but it is a sheer slope. And you are quickly approaching the edge of a cliff. I need you to roll an athletics check. Be a strength, athletics check or strength save. Actually, it would be an athletics check.
Can I use my acrobat feat? Change athletics to acrobat.
Oh,
I gain expertise with acrobatics or proficiency, if not already so. As a bonus action, I can make a DC 15 dexterity acrobatics check to have difficult terrain.
Right, but this is to catch yourself.
Dang it.
Good try.
Tried.
Ooh,
11.
11, you passed the 10, and so you catch yourself on the edge, and you're hanging there, and you look down, and it is a sheer drop. You are unsure how you would even survive if you had fallen. So that was good.
Yeah.
And you pull yourself up and you kind of perch on the edge and you begin to look around. It's not cold, even though you are clearly very high up in the mountains. And as you look down, you now peer up, and above you there is a mountain peak, but it goes right into another mountain peak. And then the mountain expands into the space above you, and there is a whole nother world seemingly above you. There is no sky. It looks like there are two horizons of land that are parallel to each other. And you seem to be on a mountain that connects between the two. And as you look down from where you are, yours looks very mountainous and rugged. But above you, as you can kind of see in the distance, it looks like fields of grain, rivers, trees. It looks very serene. And you can roll a intelligence check to see if you have any idea where you might be.
9.
You have heard of different realms in different planes, but you don't quite know what this is. So you're there, and the time goes on. And I need you to make a Constitution save.
14.
Okay? And you are able to find some sleep, because you only need a little bit of sleep. You begin to get dehydrated because you don't have any supplies with you, really. And one day becomes 2 days. And as the thirst is beginning to take you, you're trying to search, and it's just jagged rock. There's no real water that you're finding. Roll a survival check.
I thought we didn't count it if it was on the
No,
table.
not that.
Oh.
The fact that it was on the table.
21.
21. You are actually able to find some water and to quench your thirst as you find a small little stream that seems to be coming out the cleft of a rock. The rock is kind of broken in two, and through the water there seems to be just a trickle. And you're able to stay there. You're beginning to grow hungry, though hunger is something you can deal with. You've done that. You've fasted many times in your training, but you know that you can't survive very long without water. And as you're settling in to go into a third day of being trapped up in these mountains, you recognize a glow at your neck, and you look down just in time as reality bends around you. There's a flashing of light, and all of a sudden you appear next to Hold, who is walking back from Steam and Steel to your home on Troll Skull Alley.
Oh, hey, where you been?
On a mountain. There was a whole land above me, but I couldn't get to it. I was just on these rocks. How long have I been gone?
You were gone?
Well, I thank you for noticing.
Just for a little while, I'm sure.
I was on that mountain for
Where?
almost 3
I don't
days.
see a single mountain.
I wasn't here. I was, I think, in a different plane, but I cannot be too sure.
Were there flowers?
Sadly, no. Just
You remember the
just
flowers?
rocks. I do.
That was fun.
That incredible.
What'd you see this time?
Rocks all around.
So as they continue their conversation on their way back home, this is about at the time when the town crier has rushed in to the Temple of Light, where Vincent, Mylandra, and Eli have just had a conversation with Dorn Bellabranta and Lightkeeper Thranduin. And so while Morthos and Melsine, Hold, Sola, and Rygar have made their way back to their home for the evening around 5 o'clock, you hear this and you see this conversation that the town crier has. What are you guys doing?
We gotta get Hold. That's where he's from. We gotta tell him.
That's where we're going.
That too. We are going there. We should get there quickly.
Let's go.
The Lightkeeper is there, and she's watching you. She says, you're trying to go to Amphail.
We have to. Didn't you hear what he said?
Yes, of course. And she stops, and you see her and the hooded figure both kind of in unison turn facing the east, and Nye, she says to no one in particular, "Are you sure?"
Why? What's the
She
matter?
She traces a sigil in the air, and you see her finger kind of glow as she uses a piece of wire and kind of bends it, and then
Kind of Doctor Strangey.
yep, kind of yes, and then she says, "Vajra, Amphail is under attack. I am keeping pace with the healing here, but can move to intervene with Sydney if you wish." She pauses for a moment, as if listening, and then she glances to Sydney, who is now watching her intently. "She said that I'm to stay, but that you should accompany Monica to Amphail to help protect the people. She said she will send you," she glances to Sydney, "further orders along the way." Sydney speaks up. "With them? Why?" "Apparently they have means to get there instantly."
That we do.
"How? How will you do this?" says Sydney.
This thing,
"It's a necklace."
it's a transportation necklace.
"All right, take your word for it. Where do we have to go?"
We have to get to the group. We need to travel together. That's the only way you're going to be able to come with us because you don't have one. And we gotta pour some blood on a hopper and get moving.
She looks at Nye. "Do I have charge of them or what?" And she pauses. "Understood. I will secure the package, observe and report." She looks at you. "Let's go."
With haste. Can we get that health potion? We may need it.
Nye, she kind of motions to an acolyte who rummages in a room and brings back a minor healing potion,
Sweet.
hands it over to you.
Nice.
You won't regret this.
Wait, and I go to Eli. Should we send a message at the house so we can start packing so by the time we get there? Are we planning on waiting till morning or will
Do you have a
like,
means of getting a message?
I'm asking you. I thought you would know.
I have no means of doing that. We're also 10 minutes away.
Okay, we'll
Yeah.
keep it running.
Good idea, though.
So Sydney accompanies you back to your home, Trollskull Manor. She is quiet along the way, unless any of you wish to ask her any questions.
Did we hear them talk about the package?
You heard exactly what I said.
What package?
It's not your concern, it's my concern.
You're coming with us. It should be our concern. We
Your
don't
jo-
want to be in any greater danger than we're already facing.
Your job is to get me there. I'll tell you what. There will be packages for you to secure as well.
Oh, what kind of packages?
Are these people?
I am following the orders of Vajra Savali.
Who's that?
You don't know who Vajra is.
Would I know?
She is the Black Staff,
Okay.
the highest ranking wizard in all the city. She reports only to Laurel Silverhand, the Open Lord.
I'm gonna be in
You have been
jail.
conscripted into the Greyhands for this one assignment. Let's go.
Highest ranking wizard in Waterdeep. Is that what you said?
Yes. VAJRA,
Oh, it's going on.
I did not.
SAPHAR.
Wasn't even going there. Okay, so we'll know a package when we see it, or you'll tell us more, I'm assuming. When we get there.
She just shakes her head at you as she's kind of hurriedly. Every moment we lose is another life lost.
I mean, we're literally running there.
Okay? You arrive back at the home.
Hey folks,
We gotta go.
what's chasing you?
Amphail's under attack.
What? Up. We're
Wizards, portals, dragons, same thing. We gotta go.
Dragons attacking Amphail?
I'm assuming.
We must go at once.
Yes. We gotta use the hopper.
Is it unlocked?
Yes. Leo told us so.
Amphail's unlocked.
Leo told us so.
What blood?
I don't know. Probably not dragon.
When Leo gave you the hopper, he explained that there were 2 nodes that had been unlocked, Nightstone and Amphail.
It's definitely a dragon.
Oh,
It's
then
always,
dragon.
It's always dragon.
It's always dragon.
Oh, you gotta unlock it with a different blood. Dragon can travel between.
Correct.
Alright. Dragon blood.
Let's
Zeus.
go once.
I got blood.
You're coming with us.
Okay, everyone come here.
Bully, let's do this. Ha ha!
Jumps into your.
Alright, we're ready to go.
If Hulk could rage, he would be raging.
Okay, and so
Who is this
which
with you?
which
Right.
I
We
don't
saw
know.
her before.
I put Zeus down. That's a good question. I think, what's your name?
I'm Sydney Curia.
Sydney.
Why are you coming with us?
Because I was told to lead you, so you don't die.
I bear hug everyone and pour blood on my chest.
Okay. So mark off
Pick up Zeus.
one more vial of dragon blood. And as you pour blood on your chest, there's a projection that goes out where again you see the world before you of Toril. And there are 2 motes of light, bluish, one on Amphail, one on Nightstone. And there's a whole world around you. And then there are also layers of planes which seem to be above you and below you and to the side of you, which are all dark. But the 2 motes of light are on Amphail and Nightstone. Reach out and select Amphail, and immediately there is a bright emission from all of your necklaces as reality bends around you. There's a whoosh sound as you all apparate into the hopper. Hold, you're the last one to go as you kind of fold into your own chest. And there is a flashing of light past all of you, almost like kind of a hyperspace type of effect, and you immediately back into existence. And as reality bends around you, in the blink of an eye, you materialize around a glowing blue seal on the ground, covered in leaves and vines amidst a small copse of trees. Let me get my music in order.
I vomit.
A seal
First thing.
like a water animal or
Like
Right.
an arcane seal
No, the singer.
on the
It's always the
ground.
singer.
a blue glowing seal? That's beautiful.
Alright, we're go.
You immediately hear sounds of battle.
Yeah.
And you catch the smell of smoke, and as you look beyond the trees to the surrounding, you see fiery plumes billowing up into the air beyond the walls of what you assume to be Amphail, which rise up from the ground about 50 feet ahead of you. You guys are over in here, in this copse of trees, okay?
Where?
Bottom right.
I mean, on a map. Where do I know that we are?
You are you're in the north, the southwest,
Oh, so far away.
okay? And so the front gate is lowered as people kind of trickle out. It's by no means a rush of people. There's one here, 2 there, a little family here, all yelling, all screaming. And their hurried screams and the clashing of steel reverberate from beyond the walls as the roar of a dragon sounds forth from overhead. You look up and barely make out the silhouette of a swooping worm against the quickly darkening night sky. You hear the sound of otherworldly howls coming from deeper into the city. Need you all to roll perception check.
Is this a smell or hearing one?
No, this is seeing.
9.
Okay,
14.
okay.
18.
18.
17, 11.
I got a nat 20, the dog got a 13 plus 0, 15.
Okay, 20. Okay, so those of you who had a 15 or above, apart from the dragon flying through the air, you, through the gate, kind of see small, flitting fire creatures darting into the streets. Some look like humanoids, small, shorter humanoids, like halfling size, while others seem to almost slither along the ground. They seem to be engaged by some of the townsfolk and guards as the commoners flee. Those of you who had the 20 or above, you see in the commotion one of the small humanoid creatures explode, and in the explosion, as a sword is driven through its torso, you see the silhouette of a larger horned creature. With the natural 20, and I think there were 2 of you, you see that these are Minotaur. And they are also wading into the fray and taking on the guards. As you glance quickly up at the sky, you see that the dragon is a black dragon. And I need you to roll each of you two, because you're the only ones who see the dragon, to roll a history check.
16.
You recognize this as the same black dragon that appeared over Waterdeep and then was sent fleeing through Agairon's ward, which had gone off from the castle ward. For a second, you see this dragon swoop overhead and swoop down along the walls, billowing a stream of acid and melting several guards, shooting arrows at it atop the walls. On top of the dragon, you see the same rider who had previously been atop it, seeming a large cloaked, dark cloak with a staff as he kind of directs the dragon forth. Eli, as you acclimate to your surroundings, you immediately begin to feel a heartbeat reverberating in your eardrums. And you sense the direction of this presence to the northeast, in the heart of the city. Hold, this is your hometown. You know intimately these streets, you know the people and where they live, and you are immediately filled with an anger and a rage that anyone would dare to attack the people who you love. Sydney speaks up.
Too late. Hold's already running.
Okay, Hold's running. She looks off and she says, if he wants to waste his life, that's his choice. The rest of you, save as many as you can, but don't be like him, fool. You will not be able to save everybody. Do not engage the dragon. It will destroy you. Pick your battles wisely. She watches as you run. You'll be better off with the rest of them.
Hurry up!
Any of you wish to say anything else?
Does this town have protection like
You're a moron.
Waterdeep does?
I mean, honestly, nobody really wants to.
There is no ward. There are the guard.
While you're employed.
There will be several who fight on behalf of Helm. And there's an abbey up north where they hail from, and Waterdeep will send in reinforcements as quickly as they can through teleportation circles, but that will take time, and that will all center on the locus of the barracks and the greenhouse, which is the Lord Warder's headquarters.
Let us come now.
What do you suggest? You've been here before?
She hears you but is listening to something else. Understood? There are 3 high-value targets that you should each keep an eye out to save. 1 is a small female gnome wizard. Her name is Cherise Ocelot. She's probably in or near her tower, the Pearl Tower. It looks exactly like it sounds. To the far north, as I mentioned, is an abbey dedicated to Helm. There is an alchemical tinkerer there named Father Greg. He oversees the abbey, and his knowledge is of great value. I imagine that as a devotee of Helm, he could be anywhere defending the town, but you might start at the abbey.
Tell me, does he have an experiment on pea plants?
Sure.
Nobody got that joke. Gregor Mendel? Come on! Basis of DNA! He was a monk!
I don't know who you're talking about.
Where did you say, I'm sorry, Cherise Pearl Tower, where was that?
The Iron Abbey.
Iron Ash. And that's in the north?
Up outside of the gate.
Finally, the owner of the Boarhead's Rest and the Blushing Lady is a half-elf named Moxie Adams. She's probably at one of her establishments. She's a woman who knows things and is to be protected and seen to safety at all costs. Any other questions?
What are you gonna be doing?
As I said, I am securing a package of utmost importance. That package, because I know you will ask, is the Lord Warder, Dabna Ilzamar.
Would you say the farthest one away is the North Abbey?
Yes, we are at the southwest. The abbey is to the north.
I'm quite fast. Who else is Orthos?
We shouldn't split up.
Yeah.
I believe your friend will be able to guide you.
Where did he go? Where is he?
I'm
I'm
running.
gonna mind
Say
link him.
that.
Hold! Wait up!
To the side of the gate, so I can peer around and see what,
Should do
because
that
I didn't
one
see
thing on
anything. I rolled it very low.
I just
You did.
bring it with him.
So you were there, and there is. I will tell you what you see in a second. Hold has kind of. He's run up and is kind of looking back at all of you guys, and you've mind linked him.
Oh, hold! Wait up! We're sent out to get 3 targets. We must go together.
I try to send a message back.
You can respond
Oh,
telepathically.
say my friends and family need me now.
We will
That's
be
it.
there in just 1 second.
Okay.
I wait 1 second.
So you see Sydney begin to take off towards you,
And then we follow.
and as you're running, she says, "Let me reiterate that there will be many people to save. Rescue all those you can, but don't be foolish with your own lives. Secure as many as you can and get them out of the city or clear a path for them. Gather whatever information you can on why these bastards have attacked. But don't expose yourselves beyond what you can handle. May the Raven Queen's blessing be upon you." And as she says that, you notice she says a little incantation. Vincent, you have seen this before. And in a flash, she appears on the top of the wall and begins rushing to the east. As she does, she looks down at the people below and she lets forth 2 eldritch blasts, which you are familiar with. And the first one impacts a fire creature that you see, and I'll explain in just a second, drives it back 10 feet. The second one hits it again, drives it back 10 more feet away from any of the people, and it explodes, not
that's
harming
cool.
anybody.
That's my move.
It is her
We
move.
should learn from her.
So, as you all rush forth, and Hold is waiting for you here, what order are you going in?
I'm gonna be pretty up in the top.
I'll be up there as well.
I'm
I'll
gonna
be
be.
closer to the back.
Yeah, since I've got
Zeus is
range,
gonna
I'm
be
gonna
near me.
closer to the back.
I think I'll just lackadaisically stand in the back of everybody else.
I think you're gonna be leading us through the
Okay,
town.
does that look okay to you guys?
Sure.
I'm gonna go switch on the map cam.
Sounds good.
Hold. 3 targets we have to get: a Shariz Ocelot, Iron Abbey, Pearl Tower. I think a Father Greg you talked about before.
Listen, we're getting Father Greg, Sharish, Stuyven, Moxie, and
Everyone else.
Okay,
As many as
so
we
you
can.
named 3 that we have to get. As long as we get those, we're good. Anything else is gravy. Let's come up with a plan. Who's closest from where we are right now?
Sharice.
As you're having this conversation, hold, and you're kind of raring to go, you look through the gate, and you see a small tower beyond a row of buildings, kind of to the north here. So north,
Okay.
for the purpose of for the orientation of the whole map, north is this way.
Alright.
For when we're giving directions, just tell me.
Yep, left, right, left.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, okay. You see the Pearl Tower, which is about 700 feet away or so,
Okay.
on the other side of several buildings. You also know that the Boarhead's Rest is to the northeast, and the House of Supplication is to the northwest.
So we gotta go north.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree.
And the House of Supplication, as you are well aware, there's only one temple in Amphail, and that's what it is, and it is dedicated to the worship of all gods. There's no, and in general, there is a larger degree of worship of Helm here because of the Abbey, but that's the place for the worship of all gods. Now, as you orient yourself, you immediately see 3 groups of folks just on the other sides of the gates here, all being harassed by small humanoid fire creatures and what look to be small flaming snakes.
I take my bandana and switch it to red.
Okay, so you switch it over to red, and the first group has several human and elvish women and children being defended by 3 guards and 2 unarmored men with swords. They seem to be very well dressed and hurriedly trying to escape through the gate. Second group is a mishmash of dwarves, halfling, tiefling, and human men and women all fighting for themselves. None seem to have armor, though they are all armed with weapons. The third group, you see a group, they're fighting all as one unit. They wear dark leather armor and are taking on the largest group of enemies. 2 men wield daggers and 1 woman wields a bow. A dwarf fights with them alongside the 1 remaining guard, as 2 guards have already fallen with this large group of elemental attackers. You have the opportunity to help one of these groups.
Just one.
I say group 2.
I say the unarmed people.
That's
Do I
Group two.
recognize anyone in these groups?
Roll perception.
they weren't unarmed. They were just unarmed.
11.
They're unarmed.
There's
They have
unarmed.
weapons. Just
But
Unarmored.
they're fighting by themselves, so
Right.
you're not helping them.
Yeah, I say group 2.
so
11.
11. So
That's the second.
the woman with the bow, you think you might recognize her, but the others in any of the other groups, one of the well-dressed ladies, you think you might recognize her as well. It might be one of the family members of the Lord Warder, but you can't quite tell in the midst of all of the commotion.
And the ones in the black seem like they're holding their own.
They are, but they're also fighting the largest group of people.
Are they guards?
There is a guard fighting with
It's
them,
unclear.
but they are not wearing guard's outfit. Vincent, roll perception.
It's a 20.
Their black armor reminds you a lot of the Zentarum.
Is the gate open?
It's down.
I start going into the
Guys,
second.
before you run in there, just in
To
case
the
you did
second
not
group, I
notice,
run in there to the second group.
the fire creatures seem to explode, so be careful
Just
when
like
you kill
before,
them.
just like before.
Okay, so you all rush in
Guys,
towards.
no, there's no much strength.
I'd like to get into
going on.
flanking
You
position.
have,
They're
you have
never
the
Yeah.
inspiration.
Well, you guys are right where you are
Do I
as you're
think I
rushing
just
in.
can't see?
Got it. And so does Hold.
So do we have to run past the first group to get to the second? The first group that's trying to retreat and leave?
No, the first. Well,
Just
the
think
way
about
that the way that it all works is. So-
Distance.
The third group is actually the farthest away, fighting the most,
Mhm.
and they don't seem to be making their way out. They seem to be trying to get further in. The group over here is the second group, which is where you are rushing off to. The first group is over here, and they're kind of coming from the direction of the barracks, trying to get down, right? And so I did not bring minis for each of the groups. I have kind of one representative for each group.
Sure.
Okay.
So we can change the quantities to be higher whenever he feels like. I like it.
He's got advantage now too.
Oh, Zeus has advantage?
Oh, what a waste. Can't give NPCs advantage, can we?
He's not an NPC.
Didn't you just give him advantage?
I have no idea. You did to that person.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, Eli has it. Oh, I have it too?
Okay. Angel of Shadow, thank you for the inspiration, well, the advantage for our players at the table. It is very much appreciated. Alright, and by way of reminder, if we have any sound issues as we're going, please let us know. And we would love for you to continue to participate in this with us by letting us know what we should do in
So
chat.
all of those are enemies. None of them are. What do you put on the
Those
board?
are all
They're
enemies. So you see the three at the front are kind of the small humanoid guys. There are then these snake-like, fire snake-like creatures that are all kind of surrounding. Again, he is representative of this group that's there. They're all kind of engaged with them. There is about 10 of them that are there currently alive, several that are burning to death already on the ground.
Wait,
Um,
I'm gonna ask Morthos.
I need everyone to roll initiative. You can ask Morthos, though, what your question is.
Long 20. Yay! 5.
Go ahead, Mylandra, you can speak to Morthos.
Oh, those fire creatures you were talking about. How did you guys fight them off last time?
Thanks for saving yourself.
We
You're
killed them and they blew up on our face.
This is true.
Those with distance fared better.
Where do you expect it?
That's
Okay, 20 to 25.
20.
21.
21 for Vincent. Okay. 15 to 19.
17.
Okay, so Rygar and Mylandra, very good. Down goes Morthos.
That was 14.
Okay, Morthos, hold. 5. Sola.
8.
Zeus. MLC.
11.
12.
And Zeus.
11.
You should inspire us. We should go.
Okay, very good. So, Vincent, you are back here as you see Hold begin to sprint forward as Morthos reminds you all to try to engage from a distance, and he tells you to just attack him and take him out, but what are you doing, Vincent?
I'm gonna go in, run past the gates, just inside of the gates, and yeah, right there. And I will shoot firebolt at the closest creature.
Okay, roll your attack.
He's trying to fight fire with fire, I guess.
13.
Okay, that the closest creature is a magman, and as your firebolt streaks forth, it sails over its head as you just miss. Okay, Eli, you're up.
I apparate my sword before I get my shield out, run it across my hand, light it up with the radiant.
Okay, so mark off
I did.
your damage.
I get in there.
How much damage? Because he's
2.
tracking it on.
It's
the-
2.
2. Thank you. 2 damage.
I get in.
How? Just keep as fast as you can.
I have 35 feet of movement. Nope, 30. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's 30 feet of movement.
Can I see anything?
You can see 2 magnet and a fire snake.
Yeah, I mean that's what I do. I hold an action for if anything comes at us.
Okay, very good. It is now Rygar's turn.
I'd like to get in and, if I could, be next to Vincent on his other side.
There you go. That's your full 35 feet of movement.
Alright, and using sharpshooter,
Sharpshooter.
I'd like to target the. Let's do that first.
I don't know.
Yeah, sharpshooter and void.
Okay.
Okay, and then fire snake on the left, closest to the north.
Okay. So this one up here.
That's the one.
All right. Make your attack.
Alright, and that is a 15.
That hits. Roll your damage. So it's a
45.
2d8 plus 15.
That's first damage.
9 to 24.
Okay, and you hit it right between the ear and its kind of extended nose, and it pierces through the side and pops out the other side, and with a squeal that goes immediately silent as the top of its head just disappears into
Nice.
the void, and its body just falls down. The tiefling that was there was about to jab at it, as its tail had kind of rung around a little halfling that was there, stops for a second, looks over and sees you,
Wink.
gives you a nod, and goes to pull his friend out of the clutches. All right, Mylandra, you are up.
I'm gonna go beside Rygar.
Okay. You can get to here.
Oh, that's where he is. No, I wanna be more to the.
You won't get in.
You can't. You'd be back
You
here.
don't have enough movement.
Yeah, I'll hold out for now.
Okay. So just moving. Okay, very good. The enemies all take their attacks. Several of the magmen, they're all just swiping with their claws. The fire snakes, they each bite and whip with their tails. And 4 of the people go down, including the halfling that had been wound up. Another magman rushes over and finishes it off. Fire snake rushes up and wraps itself and bites a scraggly, scrawny-looking woman who is just kind of trying to stay back. The dwarf is there pounding away with his hammer, trying to keep them off, but as I said, 4 of the 10 go down, so there are 6 remaining. Morthos, you are up.
I'd like to move my full movement 40 feet and try to get inside.
Okay. That's 40 feet right there.
Alright, well, then we'll go 35 and go back 1.
Okay.
Now, there's a lot of other people in there. Are there any within 5 feet engaging any of those targets?
All of them.
All of them. Alright, well, I'm going to pull out my crossbow
Okay.
and fire away.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
And that's a crit.
Natural 20. Good first roll.
So,
So that's it on a Magman. Go ahead and roll your damage. And it is a sneak attack because they are engaged.
That's a lot of dice.
yeah, 10, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20 plus 5 is 25.
And as you shoot the crossbow, you hit it right in the base of the skull, and it pops out the front just in time for its body to explode. You're fine, but the person that's engaged with it gets incinerated by the explosion. You're down to 5 who are there.
We're helping. We're helping.
Hey, I'm 1 for 1. I'm even.
Okay, Melcine, you are
2
up.
for 1.
Is there anyone that
That person, by the way, who just exploded, he's kind of screaming on the ground as
I was gonna say, is there anybody I can stabilize?
you could try to rush up to that person and stabilize them, but their body is burned and they're clearly bleeding out.
Mercy kill.
That's my job.
Alright,
I promise we're good guys.
I am gonna go up, I'm gonna try and stabilize that person.
Okay, so you're here.
How far can I get? I probably can't even get that far.
30 feet's right there.
Oh, dang it.
You would have to run into the thick of battle to stabilize someone who's gonna die.
I know, but
It's not smart.
no, see, yes. Alright, well, in that case, who's the closest one to me?
The Magman on the north is the closest to you.
Alright, and are they near,
They're all 5 feet away from people.
got it. I would like to.
What are we doing, Melcine?
I'm sorry. I'm going to.
People are dying.
I know, that's the problem. I'm going to healing word the guy on the ground.
Okay. Roll your d4 plus 5.
6.
Okay, so he gets 6, and you see the wounds heal up, and he stops screaming as he looks up and hears your voice and looks over to you and begins to try to pick himself up. That's a bonus action. You still have an action. Mark off a first level spell.
I don't want to attack them because I don't want them to explode on anybody else.
Okay, very good. Pro tip for you, Thornlet pulls people towards you. All right, moving
Sure.
on. So we have Zeus up.
Move is 35 feet. He should be right in front of Vinny. Oh no, he was far back.
7 is 35 right there. You dash up if you care to.
He can't do anything else then, right?
Well, correct.
Dash, but not all the way up. Get him within 10 feet of that guy. Yeah.
Okay. So he is there, and Solar is now your turn.
I'm gonna dash up as well, or I'm gonna run out. How far can I get?
You have what, 40?
40.
That's your full movement right there.
That's good. I'll radiant sunbolt him.
Who?
The one that is the yellow one. It looks like.
That one right there?
Yeah, let's do that one.
Okay, roll your attack.
14.
14 sails past his head, does not hit. And you can make your second.
17.
17 hits, roll your damage.
9.
9, nice. As it impacts on his back, looks back at you, and for the first time is aware that there's people coming in from behind. Hold, you are now up.
I push through everyone and head towards the big guy.
We all go far.
And then I double move to get wherever I can.
That's
be.
30 feet of movement.
How many people are around the the boss? Whatever the guy in the middle is.
This one here?
No, the one behind it?
That's the
That's
those are
the
the good
people.
guys.
That's representative of the people we're trying to save.
Yeah, those are our people.
Okay, then, yeah, the yellow one. Sure.
Okay, so you're just rushing up to him with your rest of your dash. That's your full movement to there.
Yep.
Okay?
And
So you get up, and they see you coming, the townsfolk, and they're just continuing to slash away at the bad guys there. And top of the round, things continue on around you. The guards over here, you hear more than see two more explosions as you kind of peripherally see two magmins explode. Another guard goes down, and two of the noble people, one looks like a well-dressed child, one is a woman, they both incinerate in the explosions. Above you up here, one of the black-clad people also erupts in flames as a fire snake goes down and a magman goes down. The woman is kind of just standing back and arrowing people as quickly as she can. They seem to, another goes down, they're taking them out, but their numbers are also dwindling fast. Finally, the people here are fighting off, and they do get a couple of hits in on these creatures, but none of them actually explode. And so, Vincent, you are up again.
I'm gonna move over to the left about 15 feet. And fire a magic missile at each one.
Okay, so one at each. So roll your damage for the first magnum.
2.
2,
Yeah.
okay. Second magnum, next to hold.
3.
3, okay, and the fire snake.
3.
3, very good. So the darts, you kind of conjure it, the darts go up and each one impacting in the side of these creatures with the force damage, which they all turn and they all see you now, converging on them.
Over
Eli.
here!
Eli, you're up.
I want to get up to the one by. Can I get up to the one by hold or no? If not, the one by Zeus.
30 feet to there, right by hold.
Can I attack there?
Yeah.
Oh, then that's the one I'm going for.
Okay, you're right next to hold. Go ahead and roll your attack.
16.
That hits. Roll your damage. 10. I need you to roll. You and hold each roll a deck save.
Oh,
That's a crit 1. So just
Oh,
tell me how much damage I take.
Nice.
Wait, you said deck save?
Deck save.
That's a 5.
Hold. What'd you roll?
14.
14. Okay. Hold. You succeeded. So you take 5 fire damage as it explodes in front of you.
I'll use my reaction to take 0.
Okay. And so
Have
you're
a,
the
like,
My
co-
shield.
your bandana.
the color in your bandana goes gray as you use that up for the day.
Oh, no, I'm using my shield master to.
Oh, yes, you are.
Attaboy.
So you take no damage. Well done.
well done.
Eli, on the other hand, as he gets his shield up, I'm not dying.
You used
Oh,
your
no.
shield to direct yours
Eli,
at
he
him.
gets his shield up and directs all of the blast to his left, not knowing that you're standing in that spot now, and you take the brunt of it. So you actually take 17 points of fire damage. Okay, and it is now Rygar's turn.
Alright, using sharpshooter, void, I'd like to take a shot at the remaining serpent.
Yep, roll your attack.
I don't have enough for it, but it's okay.
So that is a 17.
I added an extra d6 because he crit failed.
Oh, yeah.
Got it. That makes sense, actually. I feel kind of weird.
Yep,
A 17.
that hits. Roll your damage.
Which one are you going for?
The
Fire
serpent.
snake.
Ooh, 18.
Is that with your plus 15?
Yeah.
Okay, 18. The arrow hits it, and because the other people had already damaged it as well, you hit it this time in the chest. It lets out another kind of sickly scream as it then falls dead in a heap. These guys seemingly do not explode.
Snake did not explode.
Okay? It is now Mylandra's turn.
I wanna move a little bit by where Vincent is.
Okay? Like here?
Closer.
That's 20 feet of movement. You have 10 feet left.
Can I move 5 more?
Here?
There
Right.
you go.
No, right there.
Here.
That
Got
one,
it.
yeah.
Okay?
And I'm gonna try to aim for that red one over there.
Yeah. Roll your attack.
Nope, wrong dice. You gotta
Oh,
roll
yeah.
that guy, or that guy, yeah. That worked out well.
18,
Yeah.
6. That's fine.
That is much better.
18 hits. Roll your damage.
And roll a d10, which
So
is,
what I had before.
no,
It's like the saucer
That one.
looking one.
yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm.
8.
8 damage.
Does
Okay.
he move back 10 feet as
Yeah,
well?
he does get hit back 10 feet, and he is currently out of the. There's no one within 5 feet of him, so he is clear of any other bystanders. But he turns and sees you all, and just rushes directly into the middle of all of them.
Son of a gun.
And takes a swipe at one of the guys, the dwarf that's there. Hits the dwarf ignites in flame and drops down, beginning to scream in pain. Morthos, you're up.
I will use my full movement to bull rush him.
Okay?
Okay.
By bull rush, what do you mean?
I'm going to run as fast as I can and push him as far as I can.
Okay? 5,
Oh,
10,
Morthos.
15.
See, he's a
For
good.
the people.
He's a
I
good
need you
guy.
to
Wait,
roll
Andy.
a strength check to.
Come on. Well, you have advantage.
Yeah.
Too late.
Too late. I have to call for you, right?
You do.
All right. So strength. Yeah, that's going to be a whopping 6.
I rolled a 2 on the dice.
Wow.
You were the strongest man alive!
The strongest tiefling ever.
So you push him backwards.
Can I take like the rest of my movement and just move him?
You,
Fit him into the wall?
that's a shove. You took the shove action, which pushed him back. So he's actually you're still here, and he is now essentially in the doorway of the building,
Okay.
clear of the people.
Stay back.
Clear the people.
Clear of the people.
So can I take my bonus action? Can I use the crossbow and bonus action?
Yes, because you can take that without having to also make an attack.
Come on. You shoot the dwarf.
Crit fail.
Oh, God.
Roll a d20.
Oh man.
5.
5. The string on your bow.
Oh,
great.
great.
Okay, and it is now
Mine's-
Melcine's turn.
So he's clear of the people, right?
Clear the people, yep.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, I'm going to use my clubbering.
Yep, he is within range, though you're probably going to want
Yeah.
to.
Can I move to my left?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you get there and you have a view of
Yep.
him. Go ahead and
Come
roll
on.
your attack.
Take him down. Ooh, that's not gonna do it.
7.
7 does not hit, as the clubbering bounces on the doorpost as it was arcing towards him, and then magically returns to you without another enemy.
Can I stabilize the dwarf that went down? I
How-
can't get up there.
How would you do so?
Yeah.
You'd have to use another healing word to
Yeah.
do so. Okay, very good. Zeus is up.
Alright. Can Zeus herd the people away from him?
Oh, I'm sorry, I needed to roll. You take 4 fire damage.
That makes sense.
For
Since
what?
you, since you
Shoving.
So I
touched
take
it.
2.
Yes, half to 2. Yep.
Can Zeus try to herd the people like a sheepdog towards the gate?
He can interpose himself, but he can't. He'd have to use a grapple action to forcibly move them.
Can a dog do that?
can grapple. Yeah,
So
it's what Hold does all the time.
So then I want Zeus to
Mine will
grapple
update automatically.
the nearest healthy person and start dragging them away towards the gate.
Okay, so
That's smart.
Zeus runs up to a human woman that's there and kind of nudges her. She gets the point, and it looks like she is going to be.
Do I need to roll something?
No, she's.
Alright.
So that's his action.
Nice.
Sola.
I'm gonna run to the remaining guy.
Okay. Well, there's still 4 left.
The one that Morthos just shoved.
Oh,
Where are there 4 left?
There's 4
For
left.
the
These
ba-
are
I
only
thought
5 men
when you
people.
said guy.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Got
the
it.
bad guy.
Got it.
I wanna
Yep.
get right up next to him.
Right up next to him.
Yeah.
There's only 4 left.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hit him.
Better
Okay.
than
Roll
none.
your attack.
16.
16 hits. Roll your damage.
10.
10 damage. Okay. I need you to roll a dex save.
Are you dexterous?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. 19.
That passes. You take 5 fire damage.
Can you reduce
Minus-
it by 1/4?
1/4. She's got
So
the ring.
yep. So you take quarter. So
That's
you,
why I did that. I wanted to use the ring.
good.
The engagement ring.
So you
It
took.
is a promise
Aw.
friendship ring.
So you take 3
Morla.
damage. Okay. And
Yeah, right?
He did it secretly.
No, I forgot. we had that. I
the
should say.
dwarf turns to you and says, "Oh, thank you. What should we do now?"
Get to safety.
Are the people that are all behind us dead?
Uh,
The nobles?
So as you look back, some of the nobles have made their way, but several of them are burning. The black-clad folks seem to have fought through the enemies, although several more of them have fallen and are you kind of catch the end of them as they're running to the northeast. The nobles kind of make their way out here, and as you say, get to safety. The
Get
dwarf
to safety and take as many survivors with you as
picks
you can.
up the guy that you healed and kind of throws his arm over his neck and just begins, and the 5 who survived make their way out as the building now has caught on fire and is beginning to burn.
Is there water anywhere?
Roll a perception check. I guess this would be investigation.
Oh, can it be perception?
Sure, perception.
Okay. 16.
16, yeah, you find a little trough of water for horses that's kind of nearby.
That was random. Okay.
Well, you said there are people on fire, right?
They've expired.
Are we in initiative still or no?
You are no longer in initiative.
Oh.
Quick, let us get to Shiraz.
That's what I was gonna do, yeah. Can I shape the water to kind of extinguish the flames on the?
Roll a wisdom check. So just D20 and add your wisdom.
Ooh, nice.
24.
You extinguish the fire and save the home.
Can I go investigate where all the nobles were burned for any
Money?
money laying behind?
Yeah, if you care to.
I do.
Go for it.
Oh, that would be a 23.
Okay,
22, sorry.
very
22.
good.
How big's the fire?
You take 5 fire damage, reduced by half to 3,
All right.
and you find a pouch of gold on one of the women, and
crap.
you find a very nice gold ring.
Take it.
Uh-oh.
Do I see this?
Yeah, he's not trying to be stealthy. So you get a pouch of gold that has 80 gold in it, and a very fine gold ring.
Fine gold ring.
Okay.
Is he prone while he's picking this stuff up? I kick him in the stomach. Seriously.
Roll your attack.
Do I get advantage because he's prone?
He's
Bending over to grab
bent
stuff?
over. Sure.
Hold. Stop that. Morthos.
Me! He's robbing dead people who we're trying to
Morthos,
save.
every
We do
life.
that every time we fight anybody.
Crit.
Yes.
No.
It's a leg. It's probably just a 1, right?
No, your attacks are magical. It's as if you punched. So roll your 2d6 plus
I don't
your
want to have to
plus
heal
your
you
strength.
guys.
Well, you're gonna have to.
6. I don't roll 6s yet. It's 2d4, so it's 44.
What? Okay. 44
44? Oh my word.
plus your strength.
Roll ones. Oh boy. I see a 3.
I see 2. 3.
15.
Okay. Morthos, you get clobbered in the side and actually knocks you on top of the body. So much of the damage is from the burn damage, but in total it's 15
I didn't think that was
15
gonna be
damage
that
that you
much.
take.
I thought it was gonna be 1.
Why would you think that?
Well,
Hold! This
He
is
is-
not productive.
You know what he could have done? He could have ran to save another person instead of robbing a person on
And
the
you
ground.
could have run to save another person instead of hitting your own
I'm on my
teammate.
way.
Let us go.
Move on. What the hell are we doing here?
Robbing dead people.
Where are
Good
they?
people, not bad
so
people.
where are you going?
North.
The Pearl Tower for
You're
sure.
heading
Well,
towards
are
heading
there
Both of
still
those-
tower?
are
Both
there
of those
still
other
groups
groups are
of,
done.
I was gonna say, are there still groups that we could
No,
No, let's
that's
just go.
those battles have all
Okay.
It was
Finished.
1 of 3.
Yep.
We're not here to save everyone.
So as you approach
Some
the
of us
tower, I need you all to
We
roll
die.
a perception check.
Perception?
But there are
Perception.
other people who died.
19.
20.
Two 13s. Me and the
at
dog.
22.
12.
9.
20. So those of you who have 20, you hear more than see the dragon beginning to swoop down in a roar. You glance up as it's about to appear from the clouds.
We need to hide. The dragon's coming. I can hear it.
Get in the house.
Let's
Taking
go.
cover.
Taking cover.
Okay, so you all take cover, which slows your advance. As the dragon bursts through the clouds and flies past where you were, it flies right for the tower, the Pearl Tower, and it lands with a massive swipe of its claws. It rends a giant gash across the walls of its gleaming white edifice.
Yep.
It then flaps and immediately takes off again into the sky as for a second the tower seems to float aloft in midair before the stones begin to slowly topple down. What are you guys doing?
Shiraz!
You're
So
you're
not even-
you're not you're
we're not
about
close.
you're about 300 feet away. As I'm assuming you're moving in that direction.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this
Keep
is not
moving.
this is not currently representative of anything.
Keep
I'm
moving.
gonna keep running towards the building.
While we're running, I'm going to tell everyone as well. By the way, we got here and I felt a heartbeat.
Oh boy.
So
Whose heartbeat?
I don't know.
What direction?
I think it was northwest.
That's where we're going.
Northeast. It was
Northeast.
northeast.
Oh.
That
Okay.
is where we're going.
That is where I'm going.
So you
I'm
guys
going northwest. I don't know where you guys are going.
We're
Whatever.
going to the tower.
You guys are going to the tower, and it begins. The rocks continue to fall, and eventually, as you get within about 100 feet of it, with a rush of stone, the tower topples and begins to implode in on itself. And in a flash of light, you see a small gnome appear at the base of the tower, and immediately get swarmed by the attackers that seemed to be waiting there for her. As you see 2 Minotaur, 2 Magmen, and a Fire Snake all moving to engage.
Do I feel the beating getting harder as we're moving in that direction?
Read a freaking card. Distraction. Jax, where are you, Jax? When we need you.
It's okay. Someone might die in this battle if we try to save everyone, so we might have to roll up a bar.
It's true. A barbarian bard.
My barbarian. Oh,
He's not actually a barbarian. He's just called bard.
Can you see this okay?
he's a barbarian.
Turn the
it's
light
like
off.
a-
You turn the light off.
Yeah.
That didn't help.
The one that's actually. Oh, it might be the same. Oh yeah, that's good.
That's better.
It's better on the screen, I guess.
The glare's not as bad.
That's what it looks like. Smoky and fire. That's it.
That's true.
Okay, let me see how it is now.
Oh,
Smoky.
that's not
Is that still too much?
That, yeah.
Kind of foggy.
I think that one made it a little
Can
bit
we
worse.
go theater of the mind on this?
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot going on,
We can
so
use that. It's just,
I think
That's
it's
fine.
okay, it's fine. So, as you glance out, you see Cherise in the midst of, well, is it over here more? I can put it this way more. Is that
Actually,
That
it's a
doesn't-
little bit better.
a little better? I can also put
It doesn't make a huge
this way
difference.
more.
Ooh,
Is that better?
I think you need to hover over it.
Yeah, right. So she is here kind of in the midst of the burning. And around her, there are 2 Minotaur that are going to swarm in. And there are 2 Magmen as well. And I said there's a fire snake as well, right?
Yes.
No.
Okay. And this, the fire snake is moving. So that's what you see.
How close are we now?
You guys are all rushing up from the south.
Do we reroll initiative?
Yep, you're gonna re-roll initiative here in a second.
And what is that, the fire that we see?
it's fire.
It's fine.
Well, yes, but
Stuff's burning.
It's hot fire.
I'll just roll my initiative ahead of time.
Come on, baby. Okay, come on, baby.
So you all see
One
this.
time in this campaign,
You see it all crash.
I thought you. Oh,
And 22, 25.
20.
20.
Nope.
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 Molly.
Sola.
15 to 19.
19.
10 to 14.
14.
11. Rygar,
9.
Vincent,
7.
Zeus
and
was an 8.
okay.
Zeus is ahead of Vinny.
Seven, you said?
Yeah, Zeus is
Zeus was an 8.
Oh,
Oh wow. You didn't roll well.
I rolled an 8.
Okay.
All right, Sola, you're up.
I will run to the little yellow one.
This one here.
Yeah. I have 40 feet of movement. I would like to, yeah.
That's your full movement right there.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
I'm gonna do my attack.
11?
11. You swing wide over
Is
its
this
head.
moonlight?
It is moonlight,
Ooh.
but you missed.
She's so excited.
Oh, it's deal an extra blow.
Yes.
So it's 12.
Okay, and then I'll do my unarmed strike.
Okay.
16.
16 does hit.
Roll
You
well.
take 6 fire damage, reduced by so you take 5 fire damage.
Ooh, nice.
9.
9. All right, very good.
Why did she take 5 damage?
Because she hit the
Punched.
magnet.
Oh,
It's true.
okay.
I didn't think about that in all honesty.
Okay. Very good. So it takes 9 damage as you slash across its back, and it lets out a and turns to attack you. Eli, you're up.
We were
You're-
running in the direction of the northeast. Do I hear the beating louder?
Amidst the din of all the battle and the screaming, you do get the sense that it is increasing in intensity, but it's definitely in motion. As much as you are in motion, it is in motion.
Oh, great. Do either of the Minotaurs look familiar?
Roll perception.
11.
They do not. They're both smaller than the. So the one that you've seen 2 Minotaurs.
Yep.
One was smaller and had some sort of robes that it wore,
Yep.
red robes, and the other one was larger, bare-chested, and had a giant great axe. which
Neither of
these
look
these both wield swords, great
Okay.
swords.
I'm going to put my shield in the ground, pull out my crossbow, set it up on the shield for good aim. And
Okay.
I'm gonna aim at the one that Sola hit, if I can hit it, if I have clear line of fire. If not, I'm going to snake next to it.
You do have clear line of fire.
Then that's what I'm gonna do.
Roll your attack.
Thanks, Dan.
That's gonna hit 16 plus 6.
That hits. Roll your damage. Roll the 1 on there, huh? All right. So as you swing over its head and then roundhouse kick it, burning the back of your ankle, as you make impact, you steady yourself, and a bolt impacts in its side, lets off another yell as it is aware of your presence. Morthos, you're up.
I will, assume I can get into flanking with the snake that Soul is next to.
Yep, so Sola is not engaged with the snake, but
She's not.
No.
Then forget it. Then I'm not moving.
you're not moving.
Nope.
Okay?
I'm gonna do nothing.
You're not gonna fire it.
I'll have a crossbow.
It's
Oh,
true.
that's freaking right.
Can I attempt to restring it? Or is it broken?
You can attempt to restrain it. You can try to fix the
Sure,
rope
can I
and
do that?
so roll a
But I have 2 crossbows.
Nope, the other one's broken.
roll a survival
Perfect.
check.
Fair enough.
That's not gonna do a lot. That would be 7.
In rushing to try to get this done, you can't quite get the rope together to restrain it. And it is now Mylandra's turn. He is not pushing the rope.
What a light crossbow.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Okay.
Okay. Mylandra.
You don't have to.
I'm gonna move in between is that hold and
And Morthos, yep.
Stick in the back.
You can get to there.
um,
That's 20 feet of movement.
and then I'm gonna aim for the snake.
Okay, make your attack on the snake.
They didn't need it. They were dead.
Ooh, nice.
16.
Don't love lost.
16 hits, roll your damage.
10.
Do you have these 101?
Yep.
It's in part of the-
It's true.
37.
7. Okay, very good. So you hit the snake
Just
and
wait,
knock
you
it
have no
back
idea what you just started.
10 feet.
It's
And,
gonna be fun
now as the snake is blown, it kind of hisses at you as it rolls on the ground, and its head turns and both of the Minotaur turn, and you hear, one of the Minotaur yells out, and in Abyssal, you're the only one who speaks Abyssal, you understand, kill them.
Oh boy.
You shouldn't have moved up that far.
There's a couple of expletives thrown in there, which I
Yeah.
didn't repeat, but basically it's kill them.
You know those abyssal speaking jerks.
Yeah. Melsine, you're up.
Okay, I want to move up a little bit towards one of the Minotaurs, but not.
That's 10 feet of movement.
Just a little bit more. Like another 5 feet.
Okay, 15 feet of movement.
Okay, so if I thorn whip the farthest one, can I reach that?
The one, this one here,
No.
here,
The other one, yeah.
you,
Do I have to move up further?
well, he's obscured by the other one. You become trying to go right through the other one. But you have,
I don't want to get up too close, yeah.
what's the range of Thorn Whip?
Thorn whip is 30 feet.
You have to move up 10 more feet.
Okay.
And you have to you have to go this way to be able to. That's 30 feet right there.
Okay. So can I thorn whip the farthest one and try and pull him into the one behind him?
From the angle that you're at, it's hard because to get the
Yeah.
farthest one, you have to go through.
Can I?
You can try. You can do it.
Yeah.
It's just the difficulty is higher.
Okay.
Higher AC.
Would it be easier to pull him into one of the smaller creatures?
Yes, he would. Right at this point, he would he would ram into the magnet.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, roll your attack.
15.
15 hits.
Avoid them.
Roll your
Okay.
damage.
6.
6.
Uh-huh.
All right, very good.
And then I want to pull him into the magnet.
Okay, and he does that. And he is able to keep his feet and not tumble into the magnet. Doesn't he?
So he doesn't take any,
he
the
made-
magnet
yeah.
doesn't take any damage?
No, I made the save on it. So.
Okay. And I would like to healing word Morthos.
Okay, so roll your d4 plus your plus 5.
8.
8, very good. So Morthos gets 8 back. And it is now Hold's turn. Hold.
I'm 30 feet away from the Minotaur.
You can get right there, that's 30, so you would be right next to it.
I will run up and I will attempt to grab the Minotaur like bear hug style.
Okay. So,
Come on, baby. Ooh, 23.
2 plus whatever, doesn't matter. He is grappled.
Plus 30. Maybe he's not powerful.
This one.
Oh no.
The one where your heart's throbbing.
Then I will knock him prone with my shield master.
Okay.
bonus action. Attempt to anyway. 24. 24.
Minotaur with their strength are plus 4, so it's 22. So he is knocked prone.
Restrained and prone.
Grappled and prone.
Got him.
Very good. Good turn, Rygar, you're up.
Alright, I'd like to first cast Hunter's Mark on that non-grappled Minotaur.
Okay.
Yes, kiss.
Run up and kiss him. Hunter's Mark, go!
He's like poison ivy.
Hunter's Mark is on him.
That's
And
how you
then
do it.
using sharpshooter, I'd like to target that same Minotaur.
Yep. You do not get the void damage because that's also bonus action.
That's going to
Good
be
8 does not hit.
Good try.
As the arrow, as the darkness is quickly setting in, though in this place the fire illuminates this enough so that those of you who don't have dark vision can still see, though you
appreciate
are
that.
mindful that the darkness is becoming an issue.
Got it.
Even with the flames around?
Here it's not because of the
Yeah.
flames.
My blade is also unsheathed, so I get 15 feet bright light and dim light 15 feet. So I have
That's true.
30 feet of light.
That is correct. So as Sola unsheathes your sword,
Which was out last battle.
that is shedding light for her, and it's a white kind of fluorescent light, as if a full moon were emitting right from her sword.
Cool. That's pretty cool.
Sweet.
Okay, so Rygar went. The enemies are up.
Would Rygar have had advantage on the guy that was grappled?
His
Need
disadvantage on
advantage.
because he's
Like
prone.
because he's grappled.
No.
I know. I'm just asking for future reference.
He's prone.
What?
So what if he would disadvantage?
I don't think he's prone. What is
Yeah,
it?
he's
Not
prone.
prone.
He's not
He
prone.
The Minotaur.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's got it
Oh,
right.
that's good to know. Morthos, hopefully you can catch.
Steve said that was a disadvantage on my attack then, if he's,
Because he's prone.
Okay, so the Magmins, knowing their role in all this,
Ah.
they shift to try to get next to as many people as
Son
possible.
of a gun.
Fair enough.
That's good.
Yeah.
And then they attack each other.
And the
Oh,
first,
the Minotaur, though.
the Minotaur that you hexed and that you pulled
Mm-hmm.
moves up to Cherise, and you can see just with all of his might, recklessly goes to attack her.
I blinded.
Okay, so he's recklessly attacking, blinded, which cancels it out, the advantage, so it's a straight roll.
That's a good reaction.
And that is a 9 plus 6 is 15,
Oh.
and that hits her.
Team gun. A ways to go on it.
And so with his great sword, he does 2d12 damage.
Whoa.
I want that thing.
I know.
So he does 15 damage to her. She staggers, and is actually, that was with the great sword attack. He goes to gore her as well.
Oh
So
my word.
because and he moved 10 feet in a straight line.
6.
Yes.
So you use one of your, and that 6 plus 6 is 12. That does not hit her, and so
Nice,
she
Vincent.
avoids
Air pound.
she avoids the gore attack, which
Good call.
would have been 4d8 plus 4 damage.
Oh, definitely.
Um,
Good call.
So
Get that guy away from
okay,
Woo!
so that was that. The Minotaur on the ground recklessly goes to attack you.
Can you get advantage? He's prone.
I'm sorry, it cancels out. I rolled a 3 and a 5, so either one would have missed. So it would have been a straight attack. So he, with his sword, he hits across your legs, and he takes one more attack to try to hit you again, and it's an 11, and so he is ankle biting you, and you're just holding him in place, just pissed off that this is going on, and
Snap his neck.
this fire snake goes to wrap itself around your leg. And that is a 17.
Ooh.
You shake it off, and then it goes to bite you instead. And you just swat it away, not getting anything on you.
Superman right now.
Um,
Told you, I'm not dying.
The two magmen go after you, Sola, each one taking a swipe at you. The first is an 18 on the die, so that's 23.
Hits.
I'm sorry, 22.
Hits.
So you ignite your
Sorry,
your kimono ignites into fire.
Oh, fun.
So you are on fire,
Oh boy.
and until you put yourself out, you will take 1d6 of damage
Zeus is gonna run up and piss
Do
on
I
you.
get any?
each
It's
turn.
a tall dog.
So
How much do I get that initial one? Just one?
on the initial turn, you take 11 damage. 1/4 of that is 2 point something, so you take 9. You take 9 fire damage. Okay, and the second one attacks you, and that's a 17 on the die.
Miss.
Plus 4 is 21.
That hits.
You're already ignited, so you take 8 reduced by 2, so you take 6 fire damage. Okay, so Sola is on fire.
Yeah, you're on fire.
You're on fire.
Fireball.
Okay, and that is all of the enemies, as Zeus is now up.
Can Zeus get to the one that is holding prone?
Zeus has 35 feet of movement.
Probably. I can't see the squares, so.
20, 25, 30, 35. You cannot. You get to the Magman and get up to Sola.
Pee on me.
If Zeus did
Oh, that would work.
urinate on her,
Did he drink before he left?
Yeah, you can only get to
Someone
here.
just said pee.
You'd be 5 feet away from the Minotaur on the ground.
then I think Zeus is going to move to 10 feet away from the Minotaur on the ground and hold a action if the thing gets near him, I guess. I'm not getting him near the things that blow up.
Okay. So he just
Yes.
goes there, and you could get up to here if you wanted to try to help Sola have her fire quenched.
Really?
Yeah.
How does he do that?
He would basically try to smother the flames with his armored body.
Okay, if you're gonna let him do that, then yes.
It's an action.
If you're, yeah, do I have to roll?
You have to roll a survival check.
For a dog. Should be okay, actually. What is this? 20, unnatural.
And so Zeus comes up and almost hugs you. Like, you know how those Great Danes, when they stand on their legs and they're like super high and can kind of. So he does you, and you hear him for a second as the flames kind of bite into his fur coat, but he kind of rolls against your body and then backs down, and you are extinguished, so you're no
Nice.
longer on fire.
Good boy, Zeus. Good boy.
Okay, very good.
I was gonna run into the Minotaur and try and catch him on fire.
Vincent, so you're now up.
Where am I?
You are behind Eli, right here.
I will run towards who I'm assuming is Cherise.
Cherise is here. You can barely see her through the rubble of the tower around her.
Okay.
That's 30 right there.
I'm going to Misty Step towards her.
Okay.
30 feet?
Yeah, like where I can get in between her and the Minotaur.
Whoa.
Wow.
Look, man, what are you doing?
You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
get right next to her and the Minotaur.
Oh yeah. And I go, Cherise, I presume, and I burning hands.
She
the
looks at you and she's,
Minotaur.
took you long enough.
I-
Burning hand her because she's a jerk.
I'm burning hands in the Minotaur.
Be more appreciative. We're leaving now.
Burning hand. So you, Misty Step is a bonus action and a spell. So
Okay.
you can only cast a cantrip.
Then shocking grasp the Minotaur.
Shocking grasp. Roll your attack.
Which is even better.
I'm
wearing
really,
armor?
I'm really nervous for you right
Hmm?
now.
Is he
No,
wearing
it's fine.
armor?
Yes.
No, it's natural armor.
It's made of
This
metal.
one is in natural armor.
That's fine.
He's holding a sword though.
14.
14 meets the armor class. Roll your damage.
I like this face.
5.
5. Okay,
It's
very
a
good.
really weird way to play a wizard, but I love it.
And so he is, your movement is
This is no
extended,
AC.
but his body shakes as you reach out, and the electricity explodes into his rib cage and into his heart, and he stiffens up as
Did you kill him?
you go to hopefully run away. Okay.
Run, Cherise, run.
You gave him a
I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm
heart
going. I'm going.
palpitation.
And she is bleeding profusely from her side, but is still up. As at the top of the turn, she puts her hand on your shoulder, and she casts a spell, and you hear a thunderous boom, boom, as a wave of thunder goes forth in a 15-foot radius, catching the fire snake and the magman, and you two are both teleported.
Nice.
away.
Oh! That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Great.
Woo!
And so that guy takes.
Focus.
Every time you reach your arm over, it focuses on your arm, which
Oh.
I'm not.
Okay.
That's
Ooh.
fine.
15 points of thunder damage
Whoa.
to the Minotaur,
Thunder and lightning.
and
Shake and bake.
actually, hold on. He fails Fire Snake, crit fails, and Magman succeeds. So Fire Snake takes 22, and Fire Snake dies.
Nice.
Nice.
Cool.
Cherise.
And the Magman takes half, which is 7.
Just wanna save her.
They would just chase us, right?
And the Magman explodes. Sola and Hold, I need you to roll a dex save.
22.
I'll use my reaction. Come on, baby. Save it.
Okay? So Hold, you take 4 fire damage.
Did I save or no?
You did not. With an 11, you did not. And Sola, you take
Oh wait.
3.
Plus 2.
Produced by
Uh,
one.
13 I saved.
13?
13 was my roll.
That saves.
Yes!
So you take no fire damage, and Sola, you take 1
I
fire
love Shield
damage.
I
Master.
get to add my
Yeah, that's pretty
shield
cool.
I had a
AC
character
and
for
dex
that.
saves.
Awesome.
Okay?
Oh, it fixed
It fixes itself.
Well, Morthos fixed it.
Okay.
it. Oh, thanks, Morpheus.
He's so sneaky. No one even saw him.
I thought you were gonna rob part of something.
You just rip off a corner. That's mine.
Okay, that was Cherise's turn,
He
and
signs it.
Cherise is breathing heavy, but still standing. And Sola, you are now up.
I'm gonna go attack the Magnum.
Magman to the to your north.
I think there's only one left, right?
That's correct.
Okay. 19 plus 8.
That right, the guy right there that hits. Roll your attack.
Which one you want for?
This one hasn't taken any damage yet.
I
Yes, it did.
yeah, when I hit it,
The thunder.
me.
Yeah, the you
Unarmed
attack
strike.
you attack the other one that just died.
Oh,
This is one that hasn't been
The
hit.
fire snake? Because I got burning
no,
damage.
Fire Snake died.
Yeah.
Fire snake died. First Magnum died. This is the second
This
Magnum.
is the second.
Yeah, that was the one that was over close to the Minotaur.
Sounds good.
Okay, so roll your attack.
Savage attacker. Yeah, no, it's nice. 4, 6, 10, 13?
13 does not hit.
No, I got a 19 plus 8 to hit. That's
That-
damage.
Just hits.
Okay.
It's slippery.
Okay, so you in
Sniper.
your anger of being set afire by this thing, you slash downwards and strike it, cutting off one of its arms, and the fire bellows out as you take 2 fire
This was
damage.
With my sword.
What?
With my sword?
Yeah, you
Okay.
take 2 fire damage.
Reduced by
Question.
1/4?
That's all. That's reduced already.
Question.
Yep.
Guard dog, if ally hit by an attack within 5 feet may use a reaction to make an attack on the attacker. Does that count as an attack on Sola?
Yes, and it would have been able to use the reaction, but he's not within 5 feet of the Magnum.
Oh, he's just right behind her.
Yeah, you specifically said to stay out of range of the explosion.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're right.
So,
Jerk.
Then I'm going to
On yourself?
use
First time you listen to me.
my unarmed strike for the. Actually, no, I can't do that damage. I'm gonna use a key point to do another sword attack with flurry of blows.
Flurry of Blows is unarmed, so you can do 2 unarmed strikes with it.
Oh, I don't have enough health. Okay.
Either any melee attack against these guys is going to take fire damage, regardless of whether it's your sword or unarmed.
Okay.
Because they're gonna blow up.
Well, I was thinking when I hit it, I get more damage.
It's still, because
Still
you're
the same.
coming within that close of proximity to the searing flaming body, it
Never
doesn't.
mind.
Yeah.
I'll just use my normal unarmed strike.
Okay,
17 plus 7.
17 hits, roll your damage.
That's 9.
9 damage. Okay. Roll a dex save, please.
14.
14 passes. I rolled max on both dice, so actually it's, what is it? 3d6. I rolled 3 6s. So you take 18 damage halved to 9. Well, a quarter of 18 would be 4. So you would take 5. You take 5 fire damage.
Just went down.
Okay. So Sola goes down.
1 point.
Okay. And Eli, you're now up.
Well, it's also half.
I'm going to throw my crossbow at Morthos.
Okay.
Morthos, catch, throw it at him,
Okay.
and I see her go down.
Yep.
I'm going to run up there and open her mouth and throw the healing potion into it, if I can reach.
With the bottom.
Yeah.
That
Throw the
worked.
whole bottle at her
Okay.
face.
That's your full movement to get up there.
Yeah, and bonus
So
action.
roll 2d4 plus 2.
Ooh, good job, Sola.
Oh, boy.
Nice roll, Sola.
7.
Okay. So you get 7 health back, and you are back in business. Eli, that was your action. Morthos, you're up. You have Eli's light crossbow.
Sweet. And I assume the other Minotaur is still prone on the ground?
Still prone on the ground.
Well, then I guess I'm just going to run up
Yep.
with my, rapier, with an attack.
Roll your attack with advantage.
Dang.
Yeah, that's a lot, 20-something.
That hits. The first hit on this one. Roll your damage
On-
with sneak attack.
on who?
This
I
one,
don't
the
wanna
Minotaur
it's
you're
prone.
holding.
9, 11 plus 5 is 16.
16. Very good.
Then I will,
So you skewer him through the rib cage as he lays there. Ah! He is quite angry at the predicament he's in, but can't really do much about it.
then I will disengage and run 15 feet backwards.
Okay, you don't need to disengage
Oh, that's
because
true.
of your
I already
mobility
moved,
feat.
I just moved 15 feet backwards.
Okay,
Nice.
So you still have a bonus action.
Yeah. How about I hide? I can do that, right?
You can hide, sure.
Who's down?
19.
19, very good.
You have a plus 2?
I do.
Pretty stealthy. Mylandra, you are up.
I'm going to.
You see the 2 Minotaur that are there before you.
Yeah, but you said what's your name is bleeding? Cherise.
Cherise is bleeding, yep.
So I'm gonna do healing light on her.
Okay. How much healing are you giving her? So healing light is your, what, once per day? You
No,
give-
that's healing hands. I have to touch them.
Okay, so you
Healing
get,
hands
you have
have 3.
3d6 for healing light then, is that what that is?
Yeah,
So how many of those 3d6 are you using?
1.
1. Okay, so roll a d6.
Here,
Is it a good one?
I have none.
Better
Yeah.
be.
3.
3. Okay, so she gets
Gets half.
3 health back. Very good. So you have 2 of those left. That is a bonus action for you. You still have an action.
I'm going to. Can I see that minotaur? The one with.
You can see the Minotaur kind of through the field here. You have a direct line of sight to this one here.
Alright,
Shoot him in the face.
I'll try.
Seventeen hits. Roll your damage. D10 plus 4.
8 plus
12. Nice. You knock him back.
Into a fire?
He makes the save
Oh.
and holds himself from falling into the fiery rubble of the tower. Okay. Good turn. Melcine, you're up.
So there's a. Am I right next to a magman there?
There is a no. There's
What?
That one's
there's no more magman. The
Oh,
only thing
okay.
that's left are the 2
The
Minotaurs.
minotaurs.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Then I want to move around, kind of behind the one minotaur that's laying prone.
Okay. Like over here. You do have to cross through his threatened radius to get there. There's a building right here.
Oh, that's a building. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to leave his threatened radius.
Okay, so then you would just get right up next to it and stand
That's
next to it.
fine. And
Okay.
then I'm gonna take my silvered sword and try to hit him.
Okay, roll your attack.
17 plus 9.
17 hits. Roll your damage.
I think it's just a d6.
It's a short sword, so it's a d6 plus
D6.
whatever your dexterity is.
Oh. 5.
5. Very good. So you skewer him very close to the spot that Morthos rapiered him, and you stay there.
Yeah.
Okay, hold. You're up. As people, your allies, come in and take turns making this Minotaur into a pincushion.
break his neck.
Finish.
I'm gonna let go of him and run at the other one and punch him.
Punch him. Okay, so you let go of him,
Which one's
and
fire?
he takes a swing at you as you go. It's disadvantaged. No, he was already recklessing. He was reckless this turn, so
It's just
it's
normal.
just normal. And it's a 4. So he hits your ankles again, and you now are facing the other Minotaur.
I punch him.
Okay, roll your attack.
Crit.
Nice. 4d4 plus 5.
Holy cow. 18 damage,
Nice.
and then I use my shield to knock him back into the fire.
Roll your strength check.
Oh, baby. Oh, 16.
21.
Ah.
As he holds up to the blow and stands his ground. Good thought. Rygar.
Attack the one I next.
Okay, roll your attack. He is
With
obscured by
sharpshooter.
Hold's body, but with sharpshooter feet, you ignore all that. So roll your
Come
attack.
on.
16.
That hits. Roll your d8 plus your d6. I assume you did void damage as well.
Yeah. 5, 20.
Oh,
Just
swing.
20. Oh, man.
No, I would. What? I roll a 1, 1, and a 3.
I know.
And so Hold, as you punch him, and he kind of goes backwards at the crack of his sternum, and your hand kind of impacting into his chest, you pull it back and go to shield bash him. He gets his sword up and knocks it away. And as he does so, there's an opening in his chest, and you put an arrow
Nice.
right in the same spot that Hold just punched, and blood pours out of his mouth,
Love it.
and he falls backwards in the fire and just gets ignited.
Love it.
Okay.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. And it is now the guy on the ground. He stands up,
Using all of his movement and action. Right?
sees Melcine,
Yeah.
and takes 2 swings at Melcine,
That's cool.
recklessly. First one is a 19,
Yeah.
and the second one is a natural 20.
Oh my lord.
Someone was gonna use it out of the way.
So you
Everyone just makes fire.
are going to get hit hard.
Really hard.
That is 2, 3,
You take 30.
4. That's 60, 12 plus 8.
Are you effing kidding me?
How much?
I almost
6
cursed.
D12.
Plus 8.
I
Really
critted
nice
against her.
rolls. Yeah.
So that's 10, 12. We'll say that's a 6, 18, 25, 2 more, 20 more, so that's 45, plus 8 is 53 damage to you.
53.
Well, I'm
She's
down.
unconscious.
Okay, or did you survive?
Yeah.
Was it, okay?
No, it's the kill.
She hadn't
No.
been. She hadn't been hit yet.
Yeah,
so
she didn't have
That's
to.
good.
That's insane.
Dude, we're gonna have to take a couple of rests.
He moves past into behind the building,
You just got one shot.
and
shot.
it is now Zeus's turn.
I probably knew that happened. I'm sorry.
Zeus holds an action. It is now Vincent's turn.
I will fire chromatic orb at him.
You don't see him. He's behind a building.
Then I don't. I stand. I stand with Cherise and protect her.
Okay, you
I'll-
are.
I do tell her. Vajra sent us. Is there anywhere safe?
Survive. Get the survivors out. We can do this. We'll talk later.
I stand next to her looking for anything else that might be coming at us.
It seems that this party was laying in wait for her at the help of the dragon. There's no other immediate threats around you. At the top of the round, she looks at you and she says to you, Vincent, do you want me to come with you, or do you want me to escape?
Stay with us for now.
Done. So she holds her turn and is Eli's. You're up.
What about Sola?
I'm sorry, Solo. You're up.
Oh, I'm gonna stand up,
That's half your movement.
and then can I see the Minotaur?
You do see the Minotaur.
I'm gonna
It
radiant.
looks like he's trying to flee.
Gonna radiant support him.
Roll your attack.
Ooh.
This smells
Crit fail.
Crit fail. All right. Roll a d20.
6.
6.
Wait, who's? Why's she shooting?
Roll an attack with disadvantage.
Oh my goodness.
11
Plus.
plus 7.
What's your AC?
15.
Okay, that's 1 death save to you. 1 death fail. Because it's not a melee attack, it is not an auto crit. It's a ranged attack, so it's only 1 death fail. If it was a melee attack, it would be 2 death fails. Okay. It is now Eli's turn.
I run up and stabilize her, and then I attack the Minotaur.
Okay, so you stabilize her with the bonus action,
Yeah.
and
I should have enough movement.
You're back? She's back.
Something you own.
okay, she is stabilized, though no
Still
hit points.
unconscious.
Still unconscious.
Yeah, but you don't have to roll d6.
Right.
10 does not hit. All right, Morthos, you're up. As you see Eli rush behind the building after he lets some of his blood seep into the pores of.
Can I make my way around the back side of the building?
Playing that summon gun.
You have backstabbing? Is there a special sneak attack backstab?
And then I will obviously use my rapier.
Yep, roll attack with advantage.
Oh my.
Oh my gosh.
Wait,
That one's
That
cocked.
one's
That
cocked.
That one's definitely cocked.
2 crit fails.
That was 2
It
crit
was,
fails.
that was
Yep.
very cocked.
Oh!
But it was like this up
It
on the
really
side.
was.
All right,
Alright, so that would be a 25.
that hits. Roll your damage with sneak attack.
Oh my gosh. 7 plus 5 is like 12.
Okay, so you skewer him through the back. Yet again, another dagger going into him. Let's have another yell as he sees that he's surrounded.
And I am going to use my mobility feat and run away.
You have 5 feet of movement left.
Well, then I'll use my mobility feat to move 5 feet, and then I'll take the dash action.
Okay,
Right.
you can use a bonus action to dash.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm just going to move to the other side of the building.
Okay, very good.
Hmm?
It is now Melandra's
I can't-
turn.
If he takes one hit
No,
on me.
I know.
I will do healing light on Malcine. I'll
Okay.
move closer, like 10.
You can see her from there.
Oh,
It's a direct line of sight.
I'll stay.
Okay, roll a d6. It's
Do you need to?
advantage doesn't work with. It's only with a d20. So,
If
so you get 1 healing point, 1 point of health. So I have Melcine. All right, that is a bonus action. You still have an action,
I'll
Melandra.
take it.
Can I move towards my left?
This way.
Yeah, no. Like up. No, the
North?
other way.
North,
North,
south,
Yes, north.
east, west.
North.
Okay. That's 15 feet of movement. You have 15 feet of movement left. There's a building right in front of you, in front
Yeah,
of Northwest.
if I go, the Minotaur is on the other side, so I wouldn't be able to see him, right?
That's correct.
I'll stay.
Okay, you stay there. And it is now Melcine, your turn.
I want to stand up.
After your movement to stand up.
Yep.
And Eli is standing over you, defending you.
I appreciate it. I'm going to use one of my Balm of Summer Court dice on myself.
Right, roll a d6, a bonus action.
4.
4.
Plus.
No pluses. For you, it is.
Yeah.
Yours is a little bit different. Because you
Mine
also heal
is-
yourself every time
yeah.
you do that. Is your wisdom? Is it just your wisdom?
It is. I always forget. Oh no, it's just plus. It's that plus a temporary hit point.
Okay, so you
So
get
5.
5. All right, very good. So that was your bonus action.
Okay. I do wanna move to my right.
You have 15 feet of movement left.
You know what? I just wanna move back a little bit. Not. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. It is now. You still have an action.
Can I know Eli's, so he'd be covered, but can I use my clubberang?
If you, instead of backing up, if you move to the east, you would have a shot at him, but not backing straight up.
If I move 5 feet to the east, can I? Like
if you're
right there? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Go for it.
13.
That does not hit as the clubberang bangs into the building above his head and then returns to you. Hold, you're now up.
I sprint at him, and I take a jumping punch,
Superman punch.
and then I follow it up with my shield to knock him down into the building.
Okay, he recklessly attacked, so you have advantage on the attack.
Ha ha! I love it. 15.
Roll your damage.
Come on, baby. Ooh. 13.
Okay, so you rush up to him, avoiding Eli as he's in a defensive position. You jump up and slam him in the face. His muzzle kind of breaks inward as his teeth shatter under the pressure of your blow. He sinks down to a knee, and you follow it with an overhead smash with the shield, and you hear a of his neck as he crumples in into a heap on the ground. Okay, you are now out of combat.
I yell, Charisse! Charisse, are you okay?
Vincent, you hear Hold yelling from the distance. I assume you all convene.
Yep.
I'm fine, I'm good, yeah. Saw this coming the whole time. Actually, I didn't. It's really weird. Usually I see these things, but these guys came out of nowhere. I didn't know anything about them. That is concerning, but we gotta talk now. What are we doing?
How you feeling?
I'm a little hurt, but I'm okay. I got some vigor, some verve, you know, I'm good like that.
Did you have any healing potions in this tower?
I did. Be my guest, Eli.
How far is it?
The tower is a crumpled heap.
Yeah,
How do you
but
know
is there
his
any
name?
I was just gonna ask you that.
You guys can run up to it. It's 30 feet from you. You can do an investigation.
Yep.
Okay, roll a natural 20.
Come on,
I'm gonna use
Eli.
my. No, I'm not.
Roll a natural 20.
Here we go. 7.
That's
You find nothing.
Alright.
Morthos, go ahead.
What's that?
You trying to, you said?
Sure.
Yep.
No, I didn't say that, but now that you say it, sure.
What are we trying to do?
Find a healing
Find
potion.
healing.
suck on that!
You find nothing.
So
Nice work.
you find in the midst of the rubble a chest which is 3/4 of the way smashed, and the last quarter of it is just protected underneath a stone that fell just so. You pull the stone off, and do you open the chest?
Yeah.
I'm gonna check it for a trap
Roll for
first.
roll investigation.
Knowing you, investigate would be a 15.
It looks like it was trapped, but the trap has
It's been
already
sprung?
been sprung.
All right, then I'm gonna reach for whatever's in there.
Yeah, and you find a greater healing potion.
Greater healing
Greater
potion.
healing
Ooh.
What is
You
that?
rolled a natural 20. I
Yeah.
gotta give it to you. That's 44 plus 4.
44 plus 4.
Chugging before
We're
it
gonna
comes
need-
out. Nothing there!
Charisse, do you know who Sydney is?
Of course. Oh, why am I talking like Sydney? Yes, I do. Yes. Oh, by the way, you're gonna need these. Well, one of these. Let's see how good you are so far. This one will help you to be harder to hit. This one will help you get a better aerial view of the field. And this one will help you reduce the enemy's vigor and verve. I like that term. Which one do you want? And she holds 3 scrolls out to you.
Huh?
Aerial view.
Levitation, coming right up. Okay. Right, what are we doing?
You should get to safety. We have to go get
He
to
said I
safety.
should stay with you.
We were told you're one of the targets to get out of here.
Of course.
I walk up and I say, Charisse, I'm glad you're all right. Are you ready for battle? Can you fight a black dragon?
We're not fighting a dragon.
None of us can fight that yet. She kind of looks at you guys, gives
Yeah.
you a nod.
We have to find 2 more people. Let you know where they are.
Father Greg and an elf.
Where's
Lost
Dad?
hands. Where are they?
Father Greg is, I'm sure, up near the north, protecting the people. I don't know. That's where I would guess. Haven't had time to scry. Haven't had time to focus on divination. Don't want to take the time now. Moxie's got to be over at one of her establishments, either the bar or the brothel, whichever one.
Alright, I'm ready to fight. Can you come with us?
Alright, we need to take.
Do you want me to go with
take
you? I can go.
Yes. Save on items.
I point a
Follow
direction. So I point kind of like this. This way. I say if we go this way, we can hit multiple locations on the way to the Abbey. We'll only miss one of Moxie's places if we don't go that way. Just go straight this way.
So if she's not at one of those, we just lost her.
I mean, we
We
can
were
head,
told
we can
she's
head
at
back around this
Whitesand
way and
Rest
Yeah,
come
we'll
back.
come back the other way.
We go this way and then head around this way.
We
No,
were
she
told
said
that
she
she's
would-
at them.
We
Yeah,
are
it's one
wasting
of-
time. We need
No,
to make a
that's one of
decision.
that's one of the
Northeast.
places.
Is that one that we're missing?
That's what
Alright, I
Shelby
just
told
point. I
us.
say we're going this way.
Alright.
Nobody
Let's
else
follow
knows
Holmes.
that.
Charisse, if it looks
So we're going to
Rough.
House of Supplication.
So you're
first.
beginning to run towards the House of Supplication. Very good.
Yep.
if it looks rough, you need to get out.
Agreed.
As in, leave you behind or just go?
Either
What?
I'm flustered. I'm sorry. What are we doing?
I'm telling you that if it looks dire, you need to get out.
You
We were
have-
told to secure you, get out.
You have no responsibility towards us.
Correct.
Understood. Although I do, but I don't. It's confusing, I know. Right now, you are protecting me. Let's go.
Yes. Okay.
So you start running to the House of Supplication.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. On your way there, there is howling in the distance. There are more houses that begin burning up. You hear the dragon roaring overhead, though it seems to be focused more on the northeast of what's going on. You see in the distance, 100 feet away or so, people fighting magmans, fire snakes. You can run towards them if you wish, or you can. There is a clear path to the House of Supplication.
What are the
I'm
people
in the
look
front. So
You are in the front.
I'm going through to the House of Supplication.
Okay, you get to
Unless
the house.
I recognize somebody.
Roll
That
perception.
I know now. 4.
4. No, it's in the midst of all the smoke. It's obscured. You arrive at the House of Supplication, and it's largely unscathed. It doesn't look like any. This hasn't really been the focus of any of the attacks. You peer in, and it seems that it's empty. There are no acolytes, priests inside.
Okay, well I go in pray for everyone's healing to maximum health right now and 10 HP extra.
Who are you praying?
Dear Tyr and Helen, I need you both right now.
Roll a religion check.
Rolling at 20.
Is that cocked?
No.
Unfortunately, it's not.
Crit fail.
In
I rolled a 1.
in the midst of your haste,
2.
you're not able to kind of center yourself as you normally do, and while you feel that your prayer is genuine and sincere, it doesn't seem to be attracting the attention of either deity.
Thanks for your help.
Okay, so now where are you guys
The
going?
place is empty, but there's a building just north of here.
Who was
Lady.
supposed to be here?
All we heard from Sydney was to check the place. That was one of the locations, yes.
But who was supposed to be here? Is this Moxie's?
No.
No.
So who was supposed to be
It
here?
could have been Father Greg.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Moving on.
So we're going to the Blushing Lady because it's close.
The Blushing Lady? Alright. As you step out and you begin to move towards the Blushing Lady, which is so you go around the corner, kind of towards the intersection to the southwest of the Blushing Lady to get around that building there, and you see 2 groups of people.
Friends and more friends.
One
Everyone you've
is
ever known and loved.
a small gnome. A small gnome corralling several horses, trying to get the horses out of
Not the horses.
Darn the horses.
the stable that's next to
Is
it.
that Toby?
and he has several farmhands around him, and he is trying to capture with a. It seems he casts a spell, and vines erupt up out of the ground to capture the salamander, a very large fire snake, and several other smaller fire snakes that bear down on him. And the flames just burn the vines away as they advance on him. On the opposite end of the street,
Of course.
you see a family of half-orcs
Oh no!
fighting off fire snakes and a very large fire snake as well. The half-orc father and mother, which are both fighting, one has a great maul, that's the female with the longer hair, and the other has a great axe with a scar down his eye, clad in leather, blacksmithing, like an apron. He was clearly at work and just grabbed an axe and went to work, and roll perception.
6.
6. Though it's hard to tell in the midst of the fire, you can tell that the druid is Toby Klein, and the half-orc seems to be the family of Stuyven Breck. Which one do you go to save?
Are there children with Stuyven?
There are.
Right there.
Okay. So you move towards Stuyven, and
So druid friend.
Toby's gonna die.
so
And the horses.
No, horses. I'm gonna kill them.
Fireball on Toby.
I got the horses, guys.
so let me clear this for a second.
They're coming to get us.
Is there like a phobia where you're afraid of horses? I mean,
No,
I'm
I
sure
just
there
hate them
is.
now.
It's
No.
gotta be, it'd be equo.
It's just a running gag.
Equiphobia,
Equestrian.
equestrophobia or something? Probably.
Wait, who's
Toby
Toby
is
Keith?
the guy who taught me how to take our horses.
Oh, he's not used. We don't need him. You already know.
You don't
him.
take care of
You know everything you could have learned.
I only have +3.
Not expectations. I was gonna try to learn on the horse, but this one, you know.
Hey, it's not my fault. The horses you tried to save, their heads melt.
Their heads melt.
That's on you, buddy.
That's on you. They're faulty.
It's
It's alright.
So you see Stuyven in the midst,
That's good.
fighting off the large one with his wife, attending to one of the smaller fire snakes. The kids are backing away from the other fire snake. And you are all approaching. You are all approaching from kind of off map here around the corner. So you are here following Pole.
We have to get them away.
Wait, those are the snakes?
Snakes and
The snakes don't blow up.
Who's in the
But
middle
they
of the
do do
snakes?
fire damage.
Stuyven is okay.
And his wife, right?
And his wife, she is next to the other fire snake.
So they're representatives, not.
Yep, that figure is representative.
Of the
I
Roll
need
initiative.
you to roll initiative.
He was supposed to fix guns.
Fine.
Come on, 20.
All right. 20 to 25.
21.
Little help.
22.
21.
Okay. So who had 22? Rygar.
21 for me.
21
and
for
Vincent.
Eli and Vincent. Okay.
Zeus got a 40.
15 to 19.
Zeus got a 15.
16.
Morthos had a 15.
I got a 16.
Morthos, Hold, Milcine,
Zeus got a 15 as well.
Zeus. You said you had 16 Hold?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right here.
You had 2 to it.
Sola and Mylandra.
11.
4.
Alright, Rygar, you're up.
Alright, I'd like to Sharpshooter, void damage, one of the smaller ones, preferably to the right. of
Okay, the one that's going after the kids.
Yes.
Okay, that's
Wow.
this one over there.
Hit.
And
Good call.
yep,
Yes.
Natural 20.
Oh.
Hey.
roll 2d8 plus roll 4d8 plus 15.
You don't even kill him. He just turns into the.
Oh.
Wow.
That's
there's
3 8s and a
3
3.
eights and a 3.
27 plus 15, 42.
42.
Okay. And so as the snake goes to coil itself
Make it
around a screaming half-orc girl, the arrow pierces it in the back of its head as it's and the arrow comes out the mouth, and again the head just disappears off of its body and it falls down, and they just look wide-eyed at it and
What,
yell, "Mommy, there's help coming!"
what a waste of 42 damage on that.
Yeah.
Like, that could have been on. I could have one-shot one of the Minotaurs. Close.
All right, are you moving at all?
No.
All right, Eli, you're up.
Where am I?
You're in the.
Oh, okay. Is the father engaged with the closest one?
Yes, he is.
Then I'm
He's
gonna flank that son of a thing.
Language.
That's why I said son of a thing.
English. Nice.
yeah. You can get right up behind him. That's your full movement.
And I should have advantage because I'm flanking.
You do.
That's cocked. 8 plus 6 is 14.
That does not hit. But in making the attack on the body and coming that close to it, as it just wriggles free, you do take 4 fire damage. Okay. Vincent, you're up.
I will magic missile the fire snake that Eli went after.
Okay, this is the large one. Okay, roll your. I'm assuming level 1.
Yeah.
Okay. So 3d4 plus 3.
6 plus 9. Wait, 9? 12.
12 damage?
Yeah.
Very good. As they impact, it turns and sees that it is now being flanked by a whole slew of oncoming combatants. Okay, Vincent just went. It turns away from Stuyven and sidesteps
Interessante.
and goes to wrap its long tail around you. 17 on the die. No,
Plus what?
plus 7 is 23 to hit. So you take, let's see, 2d8 is 11 plus 4 is 15 bludgeoning damage plus 6 fire damage, and you are now grappled.
Holy moly.
Good thing we found that greater healing potion.
I mean that Morpheus is gonna drink on his
It then takes its spear and goes to jam it into
Oh.
you.
Sweet
And
home
that's a
Alabama.
15 on the die.
What's
As
the
you get
plus?
your shield up, I'm sorry, 15 totals. 8 plus 7 is 15. And you parry the spear away. But you are grappled by the tail as it constricts around you. Alright, Vince, hold, you're up. Oh, I'm sorry. The other fire snake goes to take a bite and a tail whip at his wife. And the bite misses, but the tail whip hits and wraps around her. And she goes limp in its arms, and then shakes it off for a second, and she's on her last legs, but still up. Okay? Hold, you're up.
How do I get? Can I make it to flank that one that's fighting the wifey? Am I 30 feet away from
That's 30 feet right there. You're 5 feet away from that fire snake. But you're within range. You can get to there. That's your full movement.
I will attack the one that I can reach.
Okay, roll your attack.
Someone grappling me.
Take 5 fire damage and making the attack. That's after you, whatever you resolve your attack.
He's wrapped around him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Grapple over grapple. Crit.
Nice.
Grapple over grapple over.
You're not trying to grapple, you said you were attacking.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. You rolled 3 crits tonight.
Yep. And that is 19.
Nice, that's the most
Wow.
yet.
Punchy damage.
That's true.
Tear and helm hurt. They hurt. And then I will take my shield and try. I don't know if I can try to pry him off of it, or maybe help with strength. I don't know.
All you can try to do is knock it prone.
While he's holding him,
it would knock
I
him
can shove him
prone.
5 feet
You
or
can
knock him
both
prone.
be prone.
Can I force him off of him if I shove him 5 feet? I don't know what.
Is that so
Work.
you can take the bonus action. Does it say you can shove as well?
Yeah, shove. Custom. That's not.
Then yes, you would be able to knock it back 5 feet.
Let's see.
Is that what you're doing?
It does.
Okay.
Yes, I
This
would
is the
like
second
to.
time you're going to melee the body.
That's with my shield. Yes.
Okay. So roll your strength.
Come on, baby. 28.
28. 6. I will say, because you're using your shield to do this, that it is creating enough of a barrier, but your shield is beginning to heat up. So if you would continue to do that, you would still take the fire damage. Okay. It is now Morthos' turn.
40 feet of movement. Can I get the flank?
How much did
one
I
on the left?
Sorry. How much did I take for the punch?
I think I said 5. 40 feet of movement.
40 feet.
So am I not grappled anymore?
You are grappled. You shoved him backwards. Here. He's got, his tail is long enough to continue to take, and technically he's got a 10-foot reach with the tail.
It's a long tail.
You can get right up to here with 40 feet of movement.
Would I be flanking
You
anymore?
would not be flanking.
But holds within 5 feet, correct?
Fold is within 5 feet. As
Alright.
he's not within 5 feet. He knocked him back.
How about the guys to his right? They are not engaging
He
anymore?
is within 5 feet.
Okay.
Yep.
So then I'm going to walk up or run up there, and I'm going to release my.
I assume you're going to run right back then?
Uh,
Is that, yeah. You there?
Probably.
Okay, so make your
But
attack.
I'm
And then
going
with
to
your
use
bonus
my.
action
Well,
disengage,
so,
the
I'm
dash
going
back.
to use my ice.
Ice dagger.
Because I am hoping they are vulnerable to.
Okay.
cold damage.
Roll your attack.
And I'm going to use my inspiration.
Taking the advantage attack.
Nice.
Should be 24.
24 hits. They are vulnerable to cold damage, so you may double all of your dice.
That's what I was hoping. I can't believe I didn't think of it until now.
Do you just have a cold deck? That's right.
Yes.
Mephit shard dagger.
Like a sharp.
Ooh, that's good.
Yes, that's a lot of high numbers. 6, 10, 14. Sorry. Those two have to go away. I'll take the 2 higher ones. I rolled 2 too many.
Okay.
I took the higher ones out.
Okay.
6, 10, 14, 15, 19, 25.
25. Woo, nice.
Can't believe it.
So you skewer this thing through the chest, and the cold spiders out as the flames die down for a second on its body, as it and The flame bursts out. You take 6 fire damage, halved to 3, and then you back away. All right, Melcine, you're up.
Alright. So they're both still alive though, right?
The fire snake, the small one, has the wife wrapped,
Got it.
and she seems to be alive.
Okay.
And the salamander is facing Hold and Eli and Morthos as he retreated.
It has me wrapped though.
It has you wrapped.
It has Eli wrapped, the big one.
Alright. Is that a building in front of me?
So there is a building. There is a building right here, and there's a building right here. Here's the edge of the building right here.
Okay. Okay.
So you're just on the other side
On
of the
the
building.
right.
Yep.
Got it. I want to move to the east so that I can see the salamanders.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3. It's 15 feet of movement. You can see them in between Hold and Eli.
Okay. All right. I want to use a dice, Balm of Summer Court for Eli.
Okay, roll your d6.
6 plus 1.
Okay, so the temporary, did you lose that temporary one before? Because you had healed yourself, right?
Yeah. No, it's per dice.
Right, but it doesn't, temporary hit points don't stack. So whatever the highest number that you have is, so you still only have one, is all I'm saying.
We should use it on Eli this time.
Oh, it's one
Right.
temporary for them?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yes, then he gets 6 total.
Right. Right.
Very good.
And I want to use my clubberang because they're both within 5 feet of each other, right?
They are.
Okay.
Who are you targeting first?
The one that has the wife.
Okay, roll your attack. That's the fire snake.
16
That
plus.
hits. Roll your damage.
Alright, and it's a D8. 13.
Okay. Did you cast Shillelagh on it ever? So it's not a D8.
No.
It's the regular D4.
4 plus. Is it still my wisdom modifier?
Yeah, that is still your
Okay,
wisdom.
so 9.
9. Okay. So is that higher than it before?
What?
Did you have 8 and it gets 9? So
No, I had 13,
Oh, okay.
and then
Very good.
it went to 9.
So down 9. So it smacks against the fire snake's head, kind of knocking it loopy for a second, and then returns to you as you connected on your first attack.
Right.
And use your bonus action. Zeus is now up.
He's gonna eat the small snake.
Can Zeus get up and can he get to the one that's attacking me?
35, get right between you two.
You saved the orc lady.
I don't care about the orc.
That's 35 feet. That was his full movement.
Huh?
His full movement is to there.
And he can't do anything?
He's 5 feet away from both of them. Okay?
No, he can bite the tail because he's grappling you.
That's not what he just said.
It's a reach, so
That was my first thought.
Logic broken.
yeah. It doesn't make sense, but that's how the rules are.
So he'll hold a defensive posture and an
If
attack
anyone
if
comes
something
forward.
comes.
Perfect. Sola, you're up.
Can I get to behind Hold, but like farther away?
Yep, that's you have 5 feet of movement.
Can I move diagonally to
Did
the
you say
west?
close but further away?
You can go
That's
there.
east.
There's a building here, so no.
Oh, I can't cut the corner.
You
Literally.
can try to get there.
Yeah,
That's
that's
fine.
good.
Okay. You're 5 feet away from the from
Perfect.
fire snake.
I'm gonna radiant sunbat.
Roll your attack.
Ooh.
9.
9 does not hit.
I'm
Roll,
gonna use
roll
a
your second attack.
key point to use it twice.
Okay, very good.
Roll better.
Right?
Do you have advantage?
No.
No.
16.
16 hits. Roll your damage.
8.
8. Okay, very good.
2 7.
And your second attack.
Same thing.
13.
13 does not hit.
Jeez.
So you melt away a part of. It's weird. It's flaming, but the radiant energy kind of incinerates a portion of its elongated flesh as it still is holding on to the mom, but this viscous reddish molten blood is pouring out of it, steaming out of it. Mylandra, you're up.
If I move next to, is that Vincent? What?
Vincent's behind you.
You can move next to it.
No.
So-
Yeah.
So you're right here.
We'll stalk away.
This is Melcine, this is Morthos. Vincent's behind you here.
It's too hot for this.
I'm gonna stay behind and protect what's her name. Cherise.
Okay? So
Sure you don't want to shoot something from a
you
distance?
can see
Can I
people.
see?
Yep.
I won't shoot any of my party.
Depends on what you roll.
You
Still
can
roll
roll a
one.
one. Don't roll a one. Your
Yeah,
odds
yeah.
are in our favor.
You can see the salamander from right where you are pretty clearly. He's the one in the middle.
Alright, I'll try.
If you moved a little bit, you could see the fire snake, but
Alright, I'll move 5 feet.
okay. You'd have to move over to here to see that.
Nope,
Fire
she
snake.
said 5 feet.
So that would be there. You can still see the salamander. You can see the fire snake. He has more cover because it
Alright,
holds
I'll
in
try
cover.
for salamander.
Salamander, roll your attack.
Don't roll a one. Just that's all you gotta do.
I keep saying that, but it's good.
Hold on, it's probably
It's not a 1.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there one in it?
No.
9.
9 does not hit. As
Glad you took a shot.
as it goes wide. All right, Cherise is now up, and she sees what's going on, and she puts her hand in the air, and 3 motes of light appear, which you've seen Vincent do many times, and sends all 3 of them towards the fire snake, and they impact, and the fire snake, as it expires,
Nice.
and the body slumps off of the wife who's standing there, steps out of it, and takes a swing at the salamander.
At a girl.
Flanking with her husband,
And me.
and she hits it,
Yes. Kill it, Yagra.
and she does a little bit of damage. And Stuyven also flanking takes a toe out of the salamander, and he hits it as well. It's a 19 on the die,
Yeah, right. One hit.
and he does more damage.
They pick
And
up
it
swords.
is now Rygar's turn.
Super salamander.
I'd like to get a line of sight, use sharpshooter, more damage,
Looks like a
and
line
take an
that
attack
goes
at
like
the
that.
salamander.
Go for it.
Now would be a nice time for that 42. Not a 2,
Not
I
a
said
2.
a 42.
6.
The arrow goes wide as you're trying to avoid all of the different people in front of you. Eli, you're up.
What can I do?
You're grappled, so you can't move. You can try to escape with an action.
Can I attack the
He's
I can't
5
attack
feet
the
away.
tail.
Yeah. And you no longer have a ranged attack because you gave it to him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you don't even use it. I'm gonna
So-
ask for it back. Yeah, I'm gonna try to
'Kay.
muscle out.
You can roll either a dex
Yep.
save or a strength
But
save.
a wisdom save. That's better for me.
Go ahead.
Not 20 to bounty.
You escape, and
Wisely.
because you rolled a natural 20, I'll say you take half fire damage, which is 2 points of fire damage.
Hooray!
And that is your action. And so that was you still have your movement now.
As a bonus action, can I take dodge?
No,
That's an action.
that's for a rogue, you can do that, but it's an action for anyone else,
okay.
which you already used your action.
correct.
so.
If I back, am I in range? If I back up,
Uh,
like in his threatened range.
If you back out, he would get an opportunity attack against
Son of a gun! I'm gonna just stand there.
you. Okay, very good. Vincent, you're up.
I will take my cue from Cherise and fire magic missiles at it.
All right, roll your damage.
10 damage.
10, nice. As they impact, more of the molten blood pours out, and it, seething in anger, looks at everyone and see that it's surrounded, and who's he gonna go after?
Himself.
Surrenders, yes. With a lispy S.
Me.
Wife is 1,
Attack me.
Stoiven is 2, Eli is 3, Sola is 4, Paul is 5 and 6.
Yes.
Stoiven,
Well, that's alright.
he goes to wrap Stoiven with his tail. That's an 18, that hits. Stoiven gets caught under his eyes, roll up in his head,
No.
and then he shakes it off and comes back, and then he goes to spear him in the chest. And that hits as well, 15, as the spear pierces through and he is bleeding out in his tail. It is now Hold's turn.
I will two-handed smash this serpent in the face.
Okay, so you step up, roll your attack.
Please. 20 something.
That hits, roll your damage. You take 5 fire damage.
Ooh. 13.
13.
What's this thing looking?
Well, now it has a hole in its face.
Oh.
As Hold punches through and pulls the tail off of Stoiven. Stoiven is bleeding out in your arms. He makes a death save.
We're out of thing.
Out of
We're gonna
combat.
stabilize him.
You stabilize him.
It's Stoiven's turn?
That
We're out of
that was a
combat.
death save. That was just a death
Oh,
save.
the
throw.
thing.
You're out of combat. Combat is over.
Stoiven, my brother, are you alright?
He's stabilized, not dying, but can't talk.
Oh.
I talked to the wife. Do you have any health potions?
No, we have nothing.
Anyone around here in close proximity?
It is battle zone. What do you want us to do?
Know your neighbors and if any of them have health potions.
Hold.
Melsine, do you
what are
have
we
a
doing
medicine
here?
kit? Don't you have the skill to use a medicine kit and give them HP?
All right.
Please help my best
Your
friend.
first aid kit.
Melsine,
Do we wanna
roll
waste it
your
on him?
medicine check.
That's the, you
Medicine
said it
check?
was your
Well,
best
Well,
friend?
it comes with-
it's
Yeah,
he's
just
already
punched in the
stabilized, so
face.
this would
Right.
be a healing on him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do.
I still say,
Oh.
do we want to waste it on him?
Do we want
He wasn't one of the
barbarians?
targets.
So I can.
Oh, I know.
Alright, so then it would be. So if I use my healer kit, it's
That's
a
what
D6.
Yes.
If we get them to heal up, we got 2
Okay,
barbarians.
so
we got the
1
front line.
Mhm.
plus.
With not much health.
Oh, we will take the rests after we save the rest of
Is my healer kit based on wisdom? Or is it
Yes.
just. So if it says
It's a medicine.
+4 here, it should be a +5.
It should have updated.
Because it says +4, but my wisdom is +5.
Then it would be +5.
Okay. Alright. So it's 6 plus how many hit dice would they have?
They have a D10.
So 1. Okay.
Your medicine check is +9.
What?
That sheet is not an updated sheet. The D&D Beyond one is. That's the accurate one.
Should be +9.
Right. But I'm using a healer kit.
Right.
So
And
it's
she's
Still a
not
medicine
she's not proficient with the healer kit.
it's a D6 plus 5, so it's 6
Okay.
plus 1 more is 7.
7 healing?
Yeah.
Okay. So he gets 7 health. So he's back up with 7 health. And his wife has mechanically 1 hit point. Alright. The kids are there with you. They say, where should we go? What should we do?
Escape. Take as many survivors as you can with you. Get out of here.
Understood. It is good seeing you, brother. And he puts his arm on your shoulder, and it's about a foot above him, and they run off into the darkness, heading to the south. Right? You now, what are you guys doing?
Aren't we going
We
to
didn't
a
make
wash
it to
shed?
the place yet.
The Blushing Lady's about 80 feet to the east of you guys.
Can I have my crossbow back?
Yes, I did not use it.
Yeah.
That's where we're going.
Okay? Any other conversation? Anything else you're doing?
Looking for Moxie, right?
Okay. So
Anyone need serious help besides the half the party?
Besides the healer.
Not seeing any Eli and
I have
Morthos.
7.
Oh, Sola.
Okay.
This is real good.
Oh yeah.
as you rush towards the blushing lady, you see the same dark-clad armor folks from near the gate, though there's only one of them left alongside of the bow-wielding woman. As she lets loose several arrows at a fire elemental, a much larger fire creature, and several minotaur, a blonde-haired woman with a short pixie cut and a low-cut shirt and vest spins and twirls as she avoids the blows of a second minotaur. And as you approach, you see them, and you are running forward as the dragon swoops overhead, and you hear the howling in the distance, and Cherise is keeping up with you, and it's there that we will pick up next week as you go to try to save Moxie.
Real quick, do I recognize the bow shooter now that we can see her clearly?
Roll perception. Actually, roll history.
Nice.
16.
Minus
Minus
16.
horrible.
You do remember this woman.
Okay.
Her name is Adowin, and she was kind of like Moxie's right-hand woman
Cool.
who would kind of go out and do different tasks for her.
She's just in black too?
In the right spot.
Like the same black as the Zen?
It's a little more stylized, but
Okay.
yeah.
Well, good news is we just made contact with the Zen. Task number 2 from the Blackwoods.
Oh, snap!
Yes,
That's 2,000 gold, baby!
We have to just live.
All right.
Enchantment for
Well,
Morthos.
thank you for hanging out with us tonight as we fought through the burning city of Amphail, and you guys made some tough choices. By the way, as you looked back on Toby Klein, his body is consumed in fire,
What about the
along
horses?
with all of the horses
Ah, yes.
and the farmhands.
What you didn't see was Vinny shooting fireballs at the horses first.
Jack.
As he went by.
When it melted, that's
Don't look, Holm. They're all dead. Don't look.
And so we will pick up right there with the fight for Moxie and continue on as you try to save as many people in the town and, as Sydney told you, to try to figure out what is going on and why they attacked. As of yet, you've just been executing all of them, which is nice.
Executing all of them.
It'd be sweet if we all got worked out.
Bad
Yeah.
guys.
And I
help
speak
people.
abyssal.
I really do. Okay, so.
All right. And so thank you for sticking around. Sorry about any sound issues that we had in the beginning. We're kind of flying blind without our producer here who knows all the tech stuff. And so we appreciate you sticking it through. And thank you to all of those who subscribed and who gave some bits and who are just here with us. Thank you for the auto hosts. We appreciate that as well. And we look forward to picking up the adventure here with you next Tuesday night at 7 o'clock Eastern as we continue to loop, die, and repeat. Good night, everybody.
Yo, hey, you know what? We're almost all the way through Amphail, and none of us have